Right, we should be live. Good evening, everybody. This is FaZe Clan versus Rise, the Valorant NA Last Chance Qualifier. Obviously, as you can see, the game hasn't started yet. They're just running an analysis. So let me sip some water, and we'll look at. I'm going to look at some stats before we dive into this game. I think these games always start like 15 minutes after the announced time. So we might have to wait a little bit of time here. So let's just dive into some stats here and look at who's likely to win this game. We got FaZe Clan versus Rise here. The head-to-head, they seem to have only ever played each other twice, and they're like 1-1 in the head-to-head. And Rise have technically won more maps. They've won 3 maps to FaZe Clan's 2 maps. Past matches, basically they've both won 2, lost 3. And it looks even on that front. I think most people would say FaZe Clan are just like the stronger team right now, though. But like you can't fluke your way into last chance qualifier. You really can't. Every team here has a chance. Yeah, 100 Thieves are probably definitely the favorites. But every team in the last chance qualifier has a chance. Hello Mariola, Maxi, Waxy, Zach, how you guys doing? Hello. We're just waiting for this last chance qualifier to commence. Let's go back and look at some of the stats. There's nothing here yet. That's the start of the game. Let's look at FaZe Clan's maps. What maps are they good on? What maps are they bad on? So this is just everything really. So why not look at everything? So they have a 71% win rate on Bind, 50% on Haven. That's not great. 60% on Split, 63% on Ascent, 69% on Icebox. They've only played Breeze 4 times. They got a 50% win rate on Breeze. It looks like they're really good on Bind. Bind is their best map. Interesting on Haven. Their attack and defense win rate is the same. They're better at defending on Bind. Typically, you're just better when you're defending. It's easier to defend. You don't have to take areas. You just have to hold them. Split again. They're better on defense. Ascent, they're better on defense by 3%. Icebox are actually better on attack by a decent margin. That's only off 13 games. And on Breeze, they're a lot better on defense. But again, there's not much data to work with there. Not much data to work with. Let's see what we got in terms of the players. BabyJ. I don't think their player stats are very good, or maybe I'm looking at the wrong places. But that's BabyJ. Let's just load into this. It's playing an advert. Nice. We love adverts. Yeah, I guess we can't watch it right now. Let's go back and look at more stats. The thing is playing 8 adverts. In terms of what we're doing, Zach, we're waiting for this this match to start. FaZe Clan versus Rise. We're just waiting for FaZe Clan versus Rise to start. But I think it will take probably 15 minutes. After FaZe Clan versus Rise, it will be V1 versus Cloud9. Except I'll probably be asleep by then, so I'm just gonna watch the first game, and then we'll hop off. Let's have a look at Rise. Go through some Rise stats as well. May as well. So Bind 68% win rate. Haven 55%. Split 67%. Ascent 64%. Icebox. Do they ban Icebox? I don't know. They've only played it 6 times. 70% win rate. Breeze 50% win rate. I feel like they must ban Icebox if it's that low. The number of times they played it. It looks like Bind is their strongest map again, followed by Split and Ascent. I reckon Haven will definitely get played based off that, and Bind maybe get banned by one of them. I'm not sure. To be fair, if they're both good at Bind, I think they might both just be happy and confident to play it. So if we're predicting the maps which are coming up, hopefully soon. I reckon Bind, Haven, and one other. Either Split or Ascent. I don't think we'll see Icebox or Breeze. I could be wrong. I think that's the map combo we'll see. Let's look at the last game. Let's actually look at the maps they played in the last game. So this game here, they played Ascent, Haven, and Bind. Yeah, predictable. And the previous game they played, yeah, Ascent, Bind, and Split. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Icebox or Breeze. I could be wrong. But 100 Thieves, when you watch 100 Thieves, you either always see either one or both of Breeze or Icebox. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. This thing is still playing adverts. We will dive into this and actually watch this when it actually when it decides to not play adverts. I think it's nearly done. I'm gonna shrink myself just a little bit here as well. Don't need to be that big. Right, there we go.
Wondering who will come out on top to put their best foot forward, because in the end, only one spot counts for that final spot at Valorant Champions. I do want to get some thoughts, though, on what we just heard from Rawkus, because, Bach, it's always interesting when you can get that insight from a team ahead of their matchup against their opponents. What did you make of his analysis, the fact that power of friendship might work in Ryze's favor?
Well, it's not exactly that surprising. I have personally watched Neptune play throughout his career. He used to play on a team called B's Money Crew. This is going back several years. One of the first LANs he ever attended was a small event called Fragadelphia, and he came through with B's Money Crew. And that team effectively became a tight-knit group of friends that eventually became Ghost Gaming, where things kind of stalled out, but they were able to do a lot under that B's Money Crew brand, and it was really just a group of homies coming to events and winning more than maybe people would expect of them. One of his teammates, Wardell, who now obviously plays for TSM.
You're welcome back, Mario.
I'm not surprised to see that still be a thing. This power of friendship, it's all about positive energy, right? And we've seen that with some other players in the past. They really feed off of that positive environment, and they need that friendship level relationship to build trust. And that's kind of what we were talking about with Cloud9 as well, going back to the Chaos days, is they have that friendship level, that relationship with one another that you can't fake. So it builds outside of the server and it reflects inside the server as well. I hope that it's enough that the power of friendship can push them forward, but at the same point in time, they are matching up against a juggernaut in FaZe.
I want to believe in the power of friendship. I want to believe in the rainbows and all that is beautiful, but honestly, I don't know. I think the friendship is going to get smeaged on, if we're going to be honest. I don't have that much belief in it. If one thing is good out of it, it's when the energy gets in their favor, when the momentum gets in their favor.
I'm kind of neutral in this. I'm a 100 Thieves fan.
But the same thing is, they live and
die
in that
energy. Put it that way.
If the energy doesn't go their way,
I'd like to see an upset from Ryze. I don't think we'll see it,
and some of the issues that we saw, Bach, last time you were actually one of the analysts for some of their matches during that last playoff stage, and some of the notes that were made is Ryze, they sometimes get a little not as clean in some of their choices, not always checking corners, not always being there and prepared, but when they are rolling into it, they are there fully. So how much do you think that they may have shored up some of that cleanliness when coming for this last chance?
I hope that they've put in a little bit more work in the time that they've had to prepare for the last chance qualifier, because for a long time they've relied on their 6-player momentum. He's constantly been there trying to lift them up, but the problem is you cannot lean on that momentum forever. And we've seen how that's backfired at times. And again, it all takes place up here. The game is played up here, and a lot of times they're losing that battle internally in their own heads, and that's why you see them make a lot of the mistakes that they make, because they're getting inside their own heads. They're actually overthinking things, which is kind of strange to think about. You say they're making mistakes because they're overthinking, but it's because they've got too much going on internally. They're not processing all of the thoughts that they normally would when they're feeling confident, and it just flows naturally. It's like muscle memory. Instead, they're thinking too much, and they're getting trapped in their own thoughts.
In terms of some players that might be heavily impacting here, we mentioned the fact that Superman has had an impact on the roster, but wanting to dive a bit deeper into that, Mimi, and what he has offered coming from that controller position for, well, some of that control.
Yeah, I think that for Supa coming into this squad, he was previously playing around a couple different teams. He had a stint on Dignitas. I never really felt like he was seen to his full potential. He comes on into this squad and is almost exclusively playing the Astra. Before that, I feel like Ryze wasn't using Astra as much as they could have, and obviously she's a complete hallmark of the meta. His utility, which I was talking about earlier, it does really well to set Shanks up, especially on the attacking side. The gravity wells are well coordinated. He's really quick on the draw, and when he you have an Astra like that that is completely flexible, it adds a lot of depth to a team that is focused on the fast-paced plays and on the mid-round. So it works really well for Rise, and it's tough to do that. A lot of Astra players struggle in those quick situations.
Now, before we get the ball officially rolling, though, I do got to get the predictions from my analysts. Bach, then Mimi. Who do you got taking away this first best of 3?
It's got to be FaZe. As much as I want to see Rise win, I just don't think it's in the cards. I do think that FaZe is going to come away with the win.
I think this whole
2-0,
tournament's going to be
maps,
pretty much predictable,
rough.
honestly.
Yeah, depending on this map pool, I could easily see this swinging into the favor.
It's going to be a 100 Thieves
It's
dub.
probably a 2-0. I just don't think that the map pool is as deep
Probably
for
100
Rise.
Thieves
I
versus
don't see
Cloud9
a
in the
huge
final.
potential for them to make something happen. Who knows? Maybe Mo can
Potentially
hop back on
FaZe.
into the server and give him something special, but my faith isn't high.
All right, our analysts have officially set their predictions. That is more than enough primer to get us back into LCQ. Let's return to the main event. Will FaZe set the stage ablaze, or will their opponents rise to the occasion? Let's dive into day 2 of LCQ.
You got any special cinematics here? Go for us. Yo, see you later, CJ. I don't really care too much. Machine Gun Kelly.
There's an invisible voice that is summoning me, and it's always telling me.
They do have a cool intro here. I think it's cool. Right.
Welcome back to day 2 of the LCQ. I hope that you have been getting amped up in your hearts and minds for what we have to come, because it's going to be a good one. My name's LaTigress. I got Bach. I got Mimi to bring you through all of the action ahead of it going down. So, since we're going to be getting into the map veto soon enough, I wanted to come to Mimi first and just get your thoughts on what our expectations should be.
They're going to ban Icebox, and they're going to ban
Sure, so I think
Breeze.
the big question for me here is what is Rise going to be getting rid of? Because it's kind of between an Icebox or a Breeze ban. I really want to see them get rid of Breeze, because it is a super strong map for FaZe, but in the past, they have consistently banned out Icebox, and I wouldn't love to see them do it here, because FaZe, they never pick it. They almost never pick into Icebox. It is a map that they hate as well. I would love to see that one just floated on. Rise tries to get rid of Breeze, and hopefully for them try and make their way to Split, because Split is one of their stronger maps. Even if statistically recently they've struggled, they love picking it. They do really well on it, and it's a bit of a weaker one for FaZe, but I'm not sure if FaZe will let that through the pool, Bach.
Here's the thing that's interesting with FaZe. I remember talking to the team going back to the early parts of VCT, and one of the things they said in an interview was, we don't really care what your best maps are. We'll play whatever maps we feel comfortable with, and that's fine with us. But I think they've gotten wiser, and they've realized we can't exist like that forever, so they've started to wise up. I do think we'll see them potentially come out and ban the best map for Rise, because if you look at the rest of the map pool, there is tremendous overlap, but there's a disparity there. The difference between Rise and FaZe is that FaZe is playing at a higher caliber of player and opponent. So they're playing against better teams, stronger teams, generally speaking. As a result, the numbers kind of are the same, but they're more impressive for FaZe. So when I look at FaZe, I see numbers that definitely favor them across all of the maps. I think that FaZe would be wise to ban Split as the first map. I think if they do that, that effectively wins them the series. That takes away the ace in the hole that you would have for Rise, and there's the ban. So Split is banned right away by FaZe.
Is that Mike okay?
Let's go officially into the map vetoes. Excited to get into it. Mimi, thoughts on the fact that this is aligning with the exact groundwork that both of you had laid?
Interesting.
Yeah, Split gone. FaZe, like you said, Mark, they've wisened up a little bit. They've grown as a team, and they're getting rid of that one. Icebox gone as well, and there's the Breeze pick for FaZe. I think this one is pretty much locked in for them. Rise does not play a ton of Breeze, and when they do, it does not look fantastic. For FaZe, it's one of their strongest maps. But Mark, Ascent, this one is a lot more 50-50.
Yeah, Ascent
Yeah,
is a
that's fine
really
as
strong
well.
map, though, for FaZe. I gotta look at the numbers. This is one of their most frequently picked maps, so obviously that leans heavily in favor of FaZe. The first 2 maps are strong for them in general. Now, we can't necessarily negate
I
the
think
fact
FaZe are
that
gonna
during
2-0 them
Challenger
off
playoffs,
this.
Rise
I really
played
do.
Breeze, or played Breeze twice.
We'll see
I'm
what
sure
happens.
It was a 50-50, 1-1. That's really the only results that we have for Rise looking at the map as a whole, so I don't really know what to expect from them. The maps weren't exactly perfect. FaZe has played it a little bit more, but I do now look at this series, and again, I lean in the direction of FaZe even heavier so. I think if FaZe can come out and win a couple of rounds in a row on Breeze, they could easily steamroll the map and just completely get in the heads of Rise. Like
CRN if you want.
Upsetting
No, the red if you want
and
on
then they switch
CRN.
over to Ascent, which is really
Okay,
comfortable
fine.
territory. And then even the third map, Bind, is also
Yeah,
a
they're probably just
familiar
gonna end
map
up
for
banned
FaZe.
again,
It's not a
whatever.
bad one for Rise, but I just don't think we'll ever get there.
Yeah, I don't think there's a world where
Why you
where
guys
we
wanna
even
be
get to
unbanned
see
on a
that
Valorant
one,
stream? I don't
to
get
be
it.
quite honest, but looks like we're hopping straight into map number 1 here.
Yeah, map number 1, getting into Agent Select. So let's dig into that Breeze pick a bit more, Mimi, and what you think is going to be brought out. Is it going to be what these teams usually bring to the table for the map, or are they going to shake things up a little bit?
But definitely a Viper.
Does Corey go for the Yoru? That's my big question, because we've seen them experimenting with it. They have liked it, and it's looked
No,
really
guy.
interesting, but
You don't pick
I think
Yoru.
this tournament might not be the time. They're going to innovate
just don't
past that
pick
one.
him.
I wanted to see some creativity. I wanted to see our good friend Yoru get some use, but it's not going to happen. Instead, Corey hopping on over to the Sky. I like the role, helps enable BabyBay
Viper,
on
Sky,
that jet, and give a little
Jet.
bit more depth to this map.
They're going to mirror comp. They're going to
I
mirror
get
comp.
that FaZe is confident, but I just can't see a logical world where picking Yoru there makes much
You
sense.
don't
We will
believe
see
in
the kill
that.
pick come in for BabyJ and for Poise. Rawkus going to
Unless they
Silva,
go for
Shanks
Cypher,
on
but
Jet. That's
yeah,
not
they're
really a
basically the
surprise. Now
mirror
the question is Derek. Will Derek go back
no,
to
they
the
mirror
Cypher? See, no Cypher, and I don't blame them. I don't like Cypher on this map. I know other people disagree. They think that Cypher is great for holding mid-tube, but I don't really like Cypher, and I'm glad to see that he's gone a different direction with that, obviously getting the information gained from Sova.
Yeah, a bit of safety, it seems, this time around with the way these teams
Copy
are
copy
lining
each other's
things up.
lineups.
You don't want to take too many risks when you're starting off a match as important as this. But for everybody watching at home, I don't know about y'all, but I am ready for some anarchy. For our first match of the day, it's I hold shift and dust with the call. Take it, fellas.
Take it, fellas.
Well, Tigers, thank you so much. I'm not going to lie, it is a pleasure and an honor to be here for the restart of the LCQ. And humbled, of course, to be with my partner in crime, Dust. Again, looking good in the red today. How are you feeling, my man?
Feeling great, dude. I've been chomping at the bit to get to this game because this should be a spicy
finally
one.
here.
You got FaZe, you got Rise, 2 teams that
Just
played
leaked
each other
my snap in the
twice
server with 2K
in the
members. I know a
Challengers
server with
event
2K
just
members.
prior
It happens to be my
LCQ
server.
in the exchange series against one another.
Which is
Some
linked in
pretty
chat right
close
now if you
maps
guys wanna join my
involved in
Discord.
those matches, and so it's great to see. And what I think we really have to dive a little bit more into as we get ready for this pistol is that we have Corey.
the overlay
on
is shaking
Sky.
again.
Sir, yes,
This is
sir.
only his
Why is
third
the overlay
time playing
shaking?
Sky in an official match. In
Come
the
on,
other
Riot
2
Games.
instances, it was the
You can do
Challengers
better than
1
this.
Open qualifier.
Well, I've
and
got-
it
I've
was
gotta see what
against
the Twitch chat
much
is saying.
lesser known teams. So this is his first
They're not
time
saying
breaking
anything.
out
The
the
Twitch chat's
Sky
dumb, just
in a
knows
big
this shit.
matchup like this. And
Code's still
honestly, it
broken
kind of
there.
just
You
falls
got
more in
somebody
line with the
somebody
meta that
noticed
we've been
it.
seeing a lot of other teams go for.
Hello, Silver. How's it going?
Yeah, it makes sense, too, when you think back to when FaZe had last played this map in an official
here we
event.
go.
It was versus 100 Thieves, and they were struggling on
FaZe
the
found on
attack,
attack.
pretty darn heavily. Although, to be fair, both teams were kind of struggling on
They're
the
defaulting.
offense. So we'll see if maybe this
Boring.
little bit of an agent swap-up will cause some hopeful kind of alleviations of those problems. But
Wait, where
right
did
off the
Silver
bat,
just
you've
dart
got
from,
Rise
by the
pretty
way?
heavily stacked up over towards A, and it's BabyJ who's going to try to feel things out first.
Yeah, absolutely. BabyJ poking and prodding here with the Killjoy over towards A main, just trying to get a tab on things. The rest of the team, though, is looking to gather up at B
Timing,
main. You
that's
see a much
classic
different Viper
timing.
wall placed by Superman over on the B side of the map. Typically, you just see that right in the archway, but he's kind of using his orb for that. And
What's
he's
that
using
wall?
that
What?
wall on that left lane. Try to maybe set up the retake. He's getting taken down by BabyBay. A huge opening pick there with the Sheriff, and now we're going to see FaZe throw their own wall down to block off that Link and Defender
Wow, that was
spawn and
easy.
help them
I think
entrench
FaZe
this
is- I think
site.
FaZe
They're
have
going to
got
have a
this round.
5-on-4. This is going to be a very tough retake now for
Yeah.
Rise with so much vision being blocked on their way back in.
I don't understand
And
that.
I love the
Viper wall.
kind of maybe borderline greedy play for the Sheriff, just for maybe to have a little bit more long-range pressure off the pistol round. Here come the flashes and smokes. Also with that, the recon dart not going to find too much. BabyBay finding his
They
second.
ain't winning this.
Toxic screen also still down. This is the offensive one. BabyBay maybe good for a
Oh,
third fight. And how about the
holy
fourth?
baby,
Maybe to
baby,
start
baby.
things off with an ace. Are you kidding? 18 HP. Shanks has moved himself kind of back over through the alleyway, and explosives will pop through for BabyBay. Looking
not even
for the
checking
ace.
it.
Doesn't check his left. The trade will be there.
Check your
And
angle,
FaZe
dude.
start us off with a pistol win.
Yeah, an absolute bang, a double-edged sword to get that entry on the opposing Viper on B site. Not only does it give them main advantage and site control, but it also takes away that Viper wall that could have been useful for Rise on the retake onto the B site, which they were clearly playing for. As you can tell by their defensive setup early in the round.
I wish I could do
really
that.
Nice trading there from BabyBay in particular with the quad kill. BabyBay is such an X factor for this FaZe team. That tip of the spear, that fearless entry.
The HUD is shaking. I can't do anything about it.
Early on in the game is certainly a great news for FaZe. And so a nice start here as we are going to have a bit of a pause. I think it's just a little bit of a time to kind of chat about some things. Again, because it's been quite a while since both these teams have stepped onto a server. You know, a lot of their previous matches date all the way back to August. These are the two teams that never got to play their initial match in the upper bracket for the LCQ. So, you know, there's been a lot of time for these teams to kind of look around, see what's been going on throughout the scene as far as meta, as far as results, and kind of get a feel for where they stand and what they need to work on. And obviously they've probably been able to put a lot of practice in, and you're already seeing that pivot with Corey making this move over to Sky after having previously played a lot of Yoru.
Why can't Riot Games stop the HUD
and then
from
for
shaking?
Rise, you know, this is only their third match on Breeze, and their first game they got absolutely battered by Sentinels, and they were doing so because they were trying not to play a Sova. They actually had Derek on a Sage, but you've seen them go back to Derek on the Sova, and everybody else is kind of falling in line with what you'd expect based on their past. And I think the other big thing you're seeing is there's been kind of a debate about whether or not to play Viper as your solo controller on this map, or whether or not to throw in an Omen or an Astra to kind of be that secondary controller. And you see both teams electing
You expect
to go
Rise
with
to
that
just full safe here. I guess the Viper's buying a Marshall.
Coming to favor. I think you can credit Nash,
hold
I think, Berlin for
B-side
really kind of showcasing the ceiling,
walled.
maybe to say, for what the agent has to offer. But
Maybe
BabyJ
wall
going
is
to get a
actually
read here, and Rise's aggression through the middle. The guiding light will provide at least some sort of a deterrence. And with that flash, you thought maybe it was going to be a free kill, but not the case. Help has arrived. A 3-for-1 trade, and FaZe find themselves with the numbers and a free B-side.
I honestly don't know whose wall is
You
it.
can't really blame Rise for rolling the dice on an eco.
That wall is a
but BabyBay and company able to be those reinforcements that were required to
defensive
defend
wall.
That
I do that on attack.
Rise gets FaZe to 2-0, sets them up for the hot start. Now coming into their bonus round here, they'll keep the Spectres.
Hello, Sierra.
And the fellow weapons around it. I think if they could have got this pick on BabyJ maybe a bit faster, they could have shifted that focus back over to BabyBay, who was hopping over the wall here with the Sheriff, but it just took a little too long to get BabyJ off the board, and it freed up the rest of FaZe to come in and reinforce to fend off that mid control. But now we have the full buy from Rise.
It was a nice try. It was a nice try by Rise.
For BabyBay already. Shit, that's not
it's
the
just
full
tough when you don't have the guns.
Yeah, this is going to be something that I think for FaZe, you're really going to be happy about getting this extra bit of long-range pressure early. And early 1v1, Shank's trying to play aggressively. That's going to be an instant upgrade from an SMG over to the rifle. And with that, BabyJ looking for an early plant. But information starting to come through from all of the tools from Rawkus. Not really able to follow up with at least an elimination, but it does provide vacancy to get this fight down, and that will be enough to now set up a post-plant hold.
That was a bit
it kind of stalled
Look at
out
that
the
Jet
plant for a bit and bought a little more time for this rotation. As we are going to see that wall go back up, though, that allows FaZe to get back into safety. They're all kind of playing from long A, except for BabyBay with the op way out in middle. I want to see what kind of factor he's going to be able to play here.
Oh, nice.
He's way out of the picture right now, so honestly, for Rise, this retake looking even strength. Maybe even a little bit more now favor, but here's the angle that BabyBay wants, trying to make sure that everything stays safe, but the spike is not necessarily planted for him, but it doesn't make much of a difference.
Oh, nice, Rawkus.
And then the third, blindly through the poison cloud, no problem.
The whole time there, by the way, they had no idea the Jet was lurking mid.
You definitely got to look at what they were trying to go there with BabyBay's position with the operator out in the middle. Had good vision here, but the problem is he could not spot the diffuser, so maybe you're going to have to tinker around that spike placement just a little bit. But you could definitely tell that could be a very clutch position to play from in the future.
Unban me from Discord.
As long as his team can hold on long enough for him to slot into that position.
You guys cause these problems yourselves, you know.
Definitely something to look out for.
I don't know where to put I don't know where to put myself, honestly.
On the triple Marshall.
I'll just put myself here.
Early pressure from Rise still right at the front door of Cave. If you think back to when FaZe and 100 Thieves were playing this map, BabyJ was dominating this area, both offensively and defensively. He's continued to throw his weight around the rink very early on. ZachaREEE takes care of the sentry turret, and Rise's aggressive defensive setup has been read by FaZe, and they are going to pay some respect to this regrowth and then rotate.
As expected so far, FaZe Clan 3 to
That's a
look.
good thought here, just throwing a bit of a feint, putting that Viper utility at A, forcing their respect as they use that to get a little bit of mid control here with BabyJ.
Yeah,
who
there's
has
like 3
kinda
of Rise
slid up
members
to
in the
undershoot
spawn.
position. With that said, though, Rise have kind of read this. They're starting to rotate. They have 3 players on B site already. They're also rotated nearer to A halls to have an even quicker rotation with the remaining 2.
They're
to
not
get
watching
over
top
to
of
B
mid
side
right now.
if need be.
Not that it
BabyJ
matters.
could cut that off, and that's a big
Nice.
entry from BabyBay to help start penetrating this B site. There's still 2 defenders left.
Those defenders have pistols only. Seeker's actually going to be called out.
What?
That makes good for one. The trade is there. BabyBay finding hhis second. A couple of tags come through the
that gun
connector,
called?
but does not really amount in too
Can't
much.
remember-
And
I
with
can
that,
never
this is
remember
extra
the name.
information
That's
for BabyJ to
classic
follow
lurk.
up, find a free kill through the middle of the map. BabyBay, though,
nice.
denied by Poised, who actually
2v2.
finds 2. Can he pick
I
up a
did kill 2
weapon?
there.
He's given the space.
Ooh.
Corey's backing down, who's only got 5 HP. This is a very even 2v2.
Ooh.
Yeah, luckily, though, BabyJ has maintained middle this entire time, so it's giving
Sheriff
a
Demon.
route for Corey to get out of there and pivot that
Yeah.
spike back over to A site. And so they will be able to get the plant, but
Yeah,
yeah,
this
it's
dude's
going to be a
5 HP.
tougher
We're gonna
post play
need a
all
kill
because, as you
direct
said, Corey's on 5 HP, no way to self-heal, obviously. And now Derek's picked up an
Oh, one
op
strong
Poise
grenade.
as the Vandal. They're fully healthy, and they still have a little bit of
He has a
utility left here
lockdown.
on Poise to maybe work with.
Lockdown has been earned with the plant. Maybe an opportunity if FaZe start to feel pressure just to gain more time on the clock to stop this post.
Yo,
plant.
Nav,
Here
I don't
comes
even
the
know why
recon
you
bolt.
banned.
Poised
I don't
into the
remember
first
why I
one.
banned
Derek
people.
watching long. There it is. Attacking lockdown will be spent.
Yeah.
You've got to go now if you're Rise. Otherwise, you're not going to have time to back up and then come back to this. And the lockdown does get destroyed. And oh my goodness, the trade is going to be there.
Second kill.
BabyJ, though, over the top
we go.
finds his Killjoy counterpart. Poised
Oh,
was
they
never
heck, that
really
must have
sure
been
where he
split
was positioned.
seconds
And with that,
in the
FaZe
kill there.
survive, if only marginally through the 4th round.
Yeah, pretty scary round considering what Rise were working with, and also with that lockdown getting shut down
Yeah,
so
Rise nearly
quickly. We're
nearly
starting
thrifted
to
them
think
there.
maybe, just
Nice
maybe,
headshot.
Rise were going to be able to pull one over, but
The head
not
was just
quite.
about
FaZe
peeking
will
out there.
instead find their 4th, and this is big news for FaZe. In their 4 games that they've played on Breeze, it's been their defense that has carried them through at a 60% win rate. Their attack, only 41% of those rounds go on their way, yet they're already up 4-0, and they have shut down 2 of Rise's
Shanks
players
doesn't
with
know.
0 kills. 2 key players, I might add.
Even for Rise,
up
you
in the
talk
tube,
about the
that's
defensive
interesting.
victories that they've had. That's really what got them the win over
Hey, this
TSM
should be an
last
easy win
season.
for
When
FaZe.
they played
It shouldn't
Sentinels,
have.
they found
I
nothing
agree.
on offense, just a single round to speak of. They didn't even get a chance to play defense. So, yeah, I think when you go back to what the analyst
Like
desk
they're
was
falling
saying
in
about the
love
map
with
selection,
early days, you know.
this
Which-
almost feels like
Line 3
Rise has
curse,
to come out
maybe?
and steal FaZe's map pick because Ascent isn't exactly a playground for Rise either.
A very possible scoreline.
Yeah, I think Rise knew that
Oh,
they
they
were kind of in
they
the bind
double
between
info
whether or
there.
not to
They
let
send the
Ice
dog
Box
and the
or Breeze
drone.
through. They
Why-
knew
why-
either one
why
was
do
going
that?
To be a weak point against FaZe,
What's the point of that?
and they're starting to kind of.
They
feel
trying to, like,
that
overwhelm
now as
them?
FaZe have jumped up to a hot start. Big
Oh,
up
up
pick
versus
again
up.
from
BabyBay
BabyBay.
just
He has
better.
been relentless with this operator. He's had it for quite some time, and he has yet to falter. Really,
He's looking at the wall
it's
bang
another
angle
big
there.
opening
Why is it?
pick,
Why
and
is
that's
the
really what's been fueling
crosshair
FaZe.
placed
They
there?
keep finding these opening exchanges, and it's making everything so much easier when they get that
Ooh,
advantage so
that was
early in the
close.
round.
The flash comes through. That looked like maybe an opportunity to even things up, but Neptune could not quite lock
BabyBay
down
was
the angle.
nearly
Does force
dead
out the blades, though. So that is part of the picture, and honestly, that actually just may allow FaZe to snowball in towards
Why
the
does that
FaZe
Silva
side.
have
Only
an Odin,
defender
by
here,
the way?
Supa.
Yeah, and they already had their Viper wall placed here
Should
at
buy an
A
Odin.
side.
Has he
They're
got
able
some
to go
sort
ahead
of
and throw
wall
that up
bang?
immediately. Switch,
Lined up-
trying to play
lineups?
behind it, trying to throw his own utility down the slope.
But
This
he's
is
dead,
now,
so
but BabyBay is
think
not
he can do
having it coming over with the daggers. Finds his second.
Yeah.
BabyJ cleans up Superman, and this is probably it.
Oh. Turn around, dude.
Offensively, Neptune, one more flash.
Oh, please.
Okay.
They are so fast with
Nothing
the
to
shots.
happen there whatsoever. Just gets instantly deleted. And my goodness, BabyBay has come out
Nice
as an
boys, do something.
absolute force early in this LCQ restart for day 2. I mean, he's done it with the op. You saw him do it with the Sheriff in the opening, and now also with the Blades. Poised has no choice but to back away and try to save.
Well, I can tell you this, man. The FaZe clan are certainly hoping that their stocks, when they hit the NASDAQ in the first quarter of next year, that they're going to be seeing the stocks rise. But what we can confirm right here on the first day of this event is that BabyBay's stocks are at an all-time
How is he
high.
not expecting that?
He's smeeking it out.
Unbelievable. And it's just, you know, the fact that you're getting so much trust into BabyBay's corner as well. I mean, we've heard all the different kind of content pieces
There you go,
about
shit.
FaZe and talking about the trust that they have for one another. But for BabyBay to come out with, I think for some people would still say, hey, it's a little
Yeah,
bit of a greedy
Superman,
guy going straight into a Sheriff off
Superman,
the pistol, but he makes
Derek,
use of it for 4.
0 kills.
Then the Operator
I mean,
round 3 has been
it's
great
5v3.
since he picked it up. What all could you ask of him?
Yeah, look at his money, by the way.
I hate to do this,
sorry,
but
BabyBay's
sometimes
money.
you just have to do a little bit of a reality check here, Shift. And the bottom line is that Rise has a combined 8 frags in the 5 rounds we've played so far.
Yeah.
BabyBay has 11 by himself.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that one out there.
That's not good math if you're a Rise fan. Not good.
No, the math does not check out in their favor on that one, I believe.
FaZe are looking good.
The question really now has to go down to, you can't just go off of this defensive round any longer. Like, you've got to put something together here if you're Rise. And the only bit of good news was the fact that the last time you were put in economical distraught
chemistry.
was you still got it to a 2v2. Do you take anything away from that, or are you trying to change things up dramatically considering you start looking at a goose egg on the scoreboard?
Yeah, I think it's tough. I'd like to see them be a little bit more proactive out in the middle. I think it would allow them to get a little bit of intel, maybe try to disrupt FaZe a little bit, who constantly
Why would you time out on a pistol round?
In the mid to late round to make these side
you don't want
transitions.
to time out on a buy round
very
before
safe,
buy round?
without really any fear, right?
Oh,
Normally
a
when a
round,
team is gathered up on one side of the map, the one advantage you might be able to levy defensively is, hey, they haven't had any presence here for so long. They don't know where we are. We could be playing up front. They're going to have to take a little bit more time to clear their way back onto the opposing side of the map. Well, Rise aren't really challenging them in those ways. They're just kind of sitting back, and it's just giving FaZe so much free space. And I also think that they need to find a way to start winning these opening exchanges. How many opening picks have we seen BabyBay get? And that just allows FaZe to steamroll. We know how aggressive of a team FaZe is, how oppressive they like to be.
They got 3
and
on
that
A.
just fuels their playstyle, and they're able to keep getting these opening picks.
There's nobody in the tube and nobody watching me. Okay, I guess guys making
not purchased here for Rise. They have no utility gathering abilities really whatsoever. Outside of the one guiding light that's no longer part of the picture because Neptune's already dead. I mean, whoa. It's one of those things that you
they're on a safe round. Keep that in mind. Rise are on a safe round.
They were in. At least they were finding good intel. This time it's complete blindness, and yeah, you're hoping that Shanks can do something with the knives, but BabyBay is not interested in whatsoever having that conversation. Derek long range.
What is that?
BabyBay, and it's all down to Poise once more, who continues to find himself way on the outside just with an SMG.
I feel like BabyBay has had a multi-frag round almost every round so far. When you had the quad kill on pistol, this is a triple kill on this round. You look at the other 3 rounds, I'm pretty sure he had a couple.
How are they not expecting this? Like,
finally,
I don't get it.
Trying to pick up that Vandal, see if he can maybe hold on to it. But obviously, everyone on FaZe in pursuit has so much economy they can afford to chase however much they want.
I guess it's just deliberate because they got so much money. They don't care that they die. They just
lost there.
They die for the intel, and then the rest of the team cleans them up. I guess that's why they have so much money. Like,
not a bad stat line anywhere on FaZe Clan at the moment, and you would, I think, anticipate that having a 6-0 value. And it's just the thing that they're doing it on offense. And I hate to put this out there in the universe so
like they have 32,000 team
right
credits.
Here, you have to feel there's a must-win for Rise.
I do, yeah.
Rise
just for momentum sake, just
1,700.
to feel alive, feel like you're in this game. You know, feel like you're getting off the starting blocks. As we are going to see FaZe yet again looking to challenge early here on the long A side of the map.
What about
again, BabyJ patrolling that middle. At least they're getting early intel at Shanks' position at elbow at the operator.
While Drone Trailblazer comes through, they're still
I don't really see what Rise are mixed up after the timeout.
On the site, but he can't lock it down. Super does find first blood. First numbers advantage we've seen yet for Rise, and they'll continue to build back forward as Shanks takes down BabyJ. Your 2 top fraggers now for FaZe are out, and with the Viper's Pit down, FaZe are going to have to reassess what they want to do in the 3v5.
Yeah, good Seekers as well. Comes out of Neptune, gets them the read that there's still presence Cave and A Halls. Plus they have hit the Viper advantage. They have not had an advantage like this in really the whole half, so this is something they really need to capitalize on. You have to feel a ZachaREEE trying to use his orb to make his way into a deeper A-Hall's position. Try to see if they can unlock an added route to this A site we haven't really seen used before. Derek has a good read of it, though. Gets a little bit of chip damage off there. Trying to fend FaZe off a bit. Who are now having to backpedal.
Are they both poison clouding the same place?
And everyone's still maintaining a hope of cracking open this A side as ZachaREEE trying to lead the way from the door. So he is getting eaten alive by shock darts.
Corey's here too, but this just feels like they're trying to open up space to try to get into this site with an odd man situation. Neptune will make sure that the double still comes out, meaning that Rawkus' position is very much so well known by Rise. It won't be a flawless on the cards, but hey, only losing 1 is not bad at all. That's exactly what the doctor ordered to try to remedy this current situation for Rise.
9-3 curse.
Yeah, absolutely. Really well done. Finally getting something on the board here. It kind of just starts with just being able to fend off those initial players over on that long A position. The Neptune cleaning up from pyramids when FaZe tries to crack open from the A halls. That is job well done. Finally, now everyone on the board as well. The only issue is they burnt 2 ults there to get that done. They do still have lockdown available, however. And so we'll have to see as FaZe, of course, has their own Viper's Pit ready to put into play on this potential A-take as well as Seeker. So they have their own utility to put forward.
Once again,
I think I put the poll in the chat too late, but you know, vote in it anyway.
Drone. No chance for Super to get away. So now it's down to Neptune to try to lock things up for Rise defensively. Trailblazer out, not really able to see too much of anything. And BabyBay has already snuck through the backside of these pyramids outside the site. So maybe an opportunity, but Neptune gets caught. Guiding Light comes through, finds one, wants the second, but it's the Hunter's Fury that's able to take down BabyBay. The spike carrier dropped. Shank's not able to convert on the BabyJ, but the
how did that turn around so badly?
Rawkus in what would be a 1v3, now made easier with a 1v2, but he doesn't really have a lot to play with outside of really just
how did it go so badly for him?
Really not much to speak of, and Neptune crosses from right to left, finds the angle, and Rise go back.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're seeing Rise now win a couple of rounds in a row, starting to find their footing here. Derek starting to come alive.
They got the opening frag.
And whatever for quite some time. Now he's up to 3 kills. Great Hunter's Fury hero building off the info of Neptune to kind of fend off this pyramid front line. And so Rise may have finally figured something out here. They also burnt a couple of FaZe's ults on that round.
I think FaZe just go B now, no?
Less utility FaZe are going to be coming in
no,
with
looks
here.
like they're defaulting.
But they still, of course, have plenty of economy to get weapons for. They have BabyBay still on that operator. FaZe will take the timeout. Not a bad time to do so. You're starting to see that Rise are putting up some resistance. It's no longer you having your way with the map. Now maybe they need to start considering how they want to pivot. We do see a defensive pivot, though, I must say. Viper coming off B side. You see a lot of teams utilizing that agent as basically a B side anchor. They're now putting that utility over towards A, and they're going to put a lot more trust on the Killjoy to try to defend that B position with BabyJ. They also have Shanks there with the operator, maybe looking for an opening
What is this
pick,
second one? You see this one in the top left corner?
That position, so we could very well see
what is this
an
one grenade
op-the-op
for?
duel at some point here on this B side of the map to kick this round off.
I'd be interested to hear the logic of the placement of that swarm grenade.
I think that's a pretty fair expectation too. Just
obviously this one makes sense. This one, you cross the alarm bar, you activate it. They have to either push in sight further or
open
retreat.
Peak. So yeah, it's looking like that very well may be the case, as both Jets are kind of posturing on these barrier orbs and walls kind of over towards that left side of the map. It does feel a little bit puzzling, I think, just to a certain occasion though. When you look at FaZe, you know, we saw them kind of running through the middle of the map. We haven't seen much movement at all through the middle portion of this map whatsoever in the last
like Shanks should win the up battle. He's holding the angle.
He's taking advantage of. You know,
it's
BabyJ's
BabyBay.
kind of been able to control this area and keep it unlocked for FaZe to make those transitions, and he's able to cut off rotations. And he's doing so yet again, making
Shanks
his way up the
him.
pillar.
I'd love the observers to actually watch the Jets, one of the Jets right now.
We get some mid control. We do see though Derek putting the owl drone out and making sure no one's taking elbow position. I think
maybe Shanks is actually deliberately not peeking it.
Ops goes silent on the B side of the map. No one really over-committing to an angle there, so all is quiet on that front. As we now see FaZe repositioning over towards long A again. Viper Wall is going to be there to kind of make it tough to crack that open.
Defaulting.
Neptune there as well.
Man.
So they have a good defense in place on this A side. But FaZe going to see if they can't get a little bit of space here.
Oh, good read here from Rawkus. Sees one, that's Neptune. The tag will also
Viper is hiding behind the box.
Neptune's going to be in a world of hurt.
They don't know where she is.
Will come through, but Corey's still through the toxic screen, able to find first blood. BabyJ rotating from mid. That's a free angle onto Super. Keep in mind what we saw from BabyJ the first round of the operator. He's going to continue to play through that mid elbow, watching for the plant, and look at the adjustment on the spike plant. It is closer. Now you can clutch watch from that spot mid.
I'm glad you pointed that out. That was something that almost hurt them previously, but now they have it in an angle that BabyJ can easily cover.
This is unwinnable for Rise.
They're both going to be towards mid-side. Plus, FaZe has mana advantage. It's going to be so tough on Rise.
This is not what you do not retake this.
Have to find a pick sooner rather than later if you're Rise, but nothing comes their way. BabyBay making his position now known, but doesn't even need to be used. 3 kills for BabyJ. Shanks last one, just with the operator. It's just too many FaZe members to deal with. 4 kills in the round for BabyJ and FaZe just before they're about to consider their economy. Steals away around, and now up 7-2.
I can feel it.
Something has to change defensively for Rise on this middle portion of the map. FaZe, again, I feel like I'm kind of just repeating myself.
The HUD, by the way,
dominating that portion.
It's shaking like mad.
Again, setting them up for post plants. It's setting them up the transition after they faint and they want to double back to the opposing site. It's allowing them to very easily cut off rotations and get reads on the.
You honestly don't see lineups used in North American Valorant too often.
Now they're up 7-2. And economy, once again, a little bit low for Rise. They're having to go Spectre.
What's that
one of their
turret
players
facing?
here just to get weapons
Biggest
forward.
defending spawn.
And Bulldog as well. I mean, it's definitely dire and desperate times
Up
at
is
the
up
moment.
here.
Lockdown
Oh,
comes through.
no, he's not fast enough.
By
He's
Pete,
not fast
finds the
enough.
Headshot, and now here opens
It's
the
the reaction
floodgates.
speed.
On the way forward, BabyJ playing up top, and Vent's not able to find Derek, who is actually going to be able to lock down the lockdown.
Spike planted.
And that does at least allow an opportunity for the defense to maybe look for
BabyBay
exits as
missed.
soon as the spike is planted, but once again, it's ZachaREEE's wall that comes out, allowing some reprieve.
Poise does have defensive lockdown as well. If they can get into a good position, they might be able to help use that to get this retake. But BabyBay again,
BabyBay is
with this
playing just
operator,
like
already
he's just
signs in
faster.
Derek. There's another onto Neptune, and things are fading fast. But here
He's
comes
faster
defensive
than
lockdown. Can it get them
Janks,
back
put
in
simply.
this? But what a great lineup from Zach to put on the spike.
Kills so much time, but the defense knows that they've got a little bit of freedom before they have to check. Second snakebite comes out. Big shout out to the ops team for catching it every time.
He
Zach
does the
also
lineup,
finds
so then he
Boyd.
gets back in
Superman
position
giving it
as
a
well.
go, but not much to be found there. Rise go down 2-8 from the heavily
Guy's
favored
dead.
side, at least what we've seen in North America over the course of stage 3. Not a great look here so far through the first half. 2 to play.
Yeah, this is probably the best attacking side FaZe has yet to have on Breeze. I mean, when you look at the wins they got over Luminosity and Immortals, it was really based on getting kind of the
Rise
bare
being
minimum of
deleted.
the attack, you know, maybe like 6 to 7 rounds, and then just getting that really stout defense. And their attack is something they often struggled with against TSM and 100 Thieves thereafter when they lost them after the last couple times they have played it. So to see
Are
them come
ye
out here
in
with
school
8
this
already,
week? I'm
and
28,
really,
dude.
there's no indication they're not going to get more, especially with an eco here from Rise.
Oh, what a good guiding light off
Lines
the
the
elbow.
bot.
That's a free 2-piece for BabyBay. Nearly gets a look at Derek for a third. Zach
Oh,
also
guy's
information
dead.
off the snake bite right in the corner. Flushes out one, finds the easy pick. No problem for Corey to follow up, and it's flawless from FaZe. Barely any health shed whatsoever. I mean, not a round that you would expect Rise to do too much in, but you were hoping maybe for at
Right,
least an
9-3
elimination or
curse.
two to root
Here we
for.
go.
Here, there's one thing I want to point out in this flawless.
Respectfully,
Look at
don't
the
call me
layering
dude.
of the utility.
Why?
Like you pointed out, amazing guiding light to get BabyBay a free duel there essentially
How-
on the
how
chain.
does that
But
offend you?
watch
What?
how they absolutely crush Neptune on this
I'm
wall.
very sorry, dude.
Snake bite. Oh, you're going to avoid that? Trailblazer. Eat that one. And it's just, you know, aggression, yes, from FaZe, but what needs to be pointed out, it's not just as simple as holding W.
the
way that
the
they're
layering
using
of
this
utility
to play that aggressive style, to supplement the
is
philosophy
excellent.
that they have on the game has been
This was
beautiful
not working
to
at
watch this
100
match.
Thieves, by the way. It just
Just
wouldn't.
like BabyBay said in his content piece, you know, it's the sophisticated speak. It's not
Yeah.
just forehead dashing in, and maybe a bit of frustration starting to amount as Rise kind of hit the W key hard.
Oh, the right click.
BabyBay just over the top of Shanks' head. Neptune there for the trade. And
Oh,
Super
there
actually
we
cleans
go.
up the front
9-3
door
curse
B. So
incoming.
with that double,
Okay.
it actually means that there's, again, for maybe the second time only so far in this half, Rise have a numbers advantage 3v2.
But not on this side of the map. It's even numbers, but Corey not checking, able to cough one over. That's Derek getting a big
He holds
kill,
like an
leaving
off
Rawkus
angle. He
alone.
doesn't hold the
A
right
guy
angle.
who's kind of often underrated
what
in
got-
clutch
that's what got
situations. I
him
feel
there.
like he's usually a good decision maker when he's kind of up against the ropes like this, but still a tall task when it's 1 versus 3 and there's a Viper's Pit
Dot-
in
dot
play
then
for
plant.
Superman
No,
if
just
it
gonna
is
plant straight away.
required. He will get
Nobody
the
is that.
plant. Sure, he's got Hunter's Fury, but
Spike planted.
it's going to be hard to get in the spot where he's
Oh, he
protected
jumped- he
enough to
jumped
actually
out a
get
bit
that
there.
Hunter's
That
Fury
wasn't
off and get the
good.
impact out of it, and now he's getting blipped by the recon.
Oh,
Shotgun
that's
also
smacked
well
him for a
connected
lot
to
as
the
well,
guy
and he's about to get volleyed.
Flushing him through. Rawkus, no chance there.
And
So
three curses
Rise
here.
will find a third round. But man, there's a little bit of salt and sourness coming out of my mouth there, even saying that from the
Do I
defensive
celebrate
side.
Halloween?
They'll have
I
to
mean-
prepare themselves for their offense. It's going to have to be something
really.
immaculate from Rise. They'll prepare.
Switching
We will do
sides.
the
I don't
same.
do much
We'll
for it.
step away and come back with the second half right after this.
All right, well, that was pretty one-sided. Let's see if the stats are loaded in. Actually, I think they only load in at the end of the game. But I mean, from what we can see, 9-3. Well, there was 6-0 up. Rise managed 2 in a row. At least they've got the 9-3 curse. Like, maybe it's doable from 9-3 down. Like, maybe. Not 10-2. It's not 11-1. It could be worse. Is there any more Valorant stats? Website Valorant stats. Let's have a look. Or VCT stats. Spike GG. Yeah. What is this? Might have some I'll have some info here. No, it doesn't. You can't seem to get the live kill counts until the game ends. It's a shame. This website feels more overwhelming looking at this. I much prefer VLR.gg. Maybe I'm just not used to it though. Yeah, 9-3 curse. 9-3 curse might be on, but it doesn't feel like it's on. Honestly, I think FaZe will be perfectly fine on defense. If we look at the stats, again, I think FaZe were better on defense anyway on Breach, right? Yeah, they're 60% on defense, 41% on attack, and they've just destroyed them on attack. So yeah, I think they're gonna be perfectly fine. I don't think Rise had many stats on Breach, but let's have a look at them anyway. Breeze, yeah, no, they're 39% on attack. Yeah, this game is over. This game is over. FaZe Clan are even better on defense, and Rise are 56% on defense, and they just got destroyed. So, yeah, I think a massive gulf in class, to put it simply. I don't think a lot of those strats from FaZe Clan will work when they come up against like Xset, Cloud9, 100 Thieves. I don't think those strategies, some of those strategies will work. Just like basically W keying into the site. Like for example, BabyBay is like out opping Shanks. If you come up against Nitro maybe, or whoever opts for Xset, is it Zekken? I don't think it's Zekken. Whoever opts for Xset. I don't think BabyBay is going to have as much luck, you know, out opping somebody from either of those teams. Just as an example, so it's definitely going to get harder for them, but we'll see. We're back in anyway.
Touch, but you talked about how FaZe Clan have been so good about putting pressure to the middle of the map. Take a look at the defensive numbers that are already making their way not just up the mid, but even controlling the majority of this elbow play. This is unreal.
It is. That Trailblazer will spot BabyBay, sure, but that's only half the battle as he just sneaks over on the top wall and gets the Sheriff pick there.
He's doing that with 2 bullets, by the way.
Going to be able to assist him here for the opposing side. Neptune, though, breaking through, finding ZachaREEE out in the middle. So we are seeing Rise fight back.
Yeah, and a big 1v1 happening up top in the vents actually opens up all of the A site. And also defensively kind of causes a bit of an obstacle here because you just don't know, has Shanks actually pushed through into our spawn? Is he still lingering up top and mid? He actually chose the third door, which is let me just stack up with my teammates while we plant.
Yeah, it's tough because now Rawkus has to even just clear out his spawn and A halls just to get in a comfortable spot to assist this retake because they don't all want to have to funnel through doors. But BabyBay spotting the opposing jet of Shanks out here outside the case. Derek going to come over to assist. Almost lines up for BabyBay, but a big kill for Shanks.
They're both low, by the way.
Corey, though, is also still here, lurking behind the play. Rawkus trying to deal with the sentry turret. Difficult 1v1 there, apparently. And Corey, that's going to be a free one, but can he find more behind this? That's the big question. Yes, he can. A single tap onto Poise does the trick, and it's just down to Shanks. Corey's got the beat on him, but where's the help? It's got to come through. You've got to try to stick for the defuse. Shanks wins the first. Rawkus trying to hold. Gets it to halfway, but Shanks retaliates for a Red Bull clutch for Rise as they take the must-win pistol.
Unlucky.
It was a labored victory, but Rise find it nonetheless. What a brilliant series of events there for Rise. They were able to kind of fend off BabyBay and his impact at middle.
We're halfway through the game. He's 24-8.
You know, I would have liked to have seen Rawkus just double up with Corey here before touching this spike. Maybe they were just running out of time. They felt like they needed to get to half, but I think if they could have 2v1 that shot position, they would have had a much better chance to maybe pull off a last-second defuse. Instead, they kind of gave him some 1v1s and gave him a way back into the round, and boy, was that a much-needed round for Rise.
Now, if you remember back to when we even just mentioned it a moment ago, BabyJ so aggressive into this cave system defensively. Did it versus 100 Thieves, looking to do it again here versus Rise, but at BabyBay to fall first. BabyJ falls second. Now it's just down to Corey.
What the? He just got 2 classic kills?
As he finds himself a double.
How did he do that?
By the way, and with that, Neptune forced to get the trade, and there will be an opportunity for Rise to get a plant.
Yeah, they're going to have a 3-on-2. They had the superior firepower. They've cleared outdoor position. They have their Viper wall deep over towards defensive spawn. They have A-Hall's control. Kind of at least kept tabs on.
They've got 2 classics.
As Rawkus comes through, they have Superman and company.
Sure, it might be good close range, but from distance.
And it's just classics anyway, so Rise should be finding a 5th here.
Zach already tagged up from the side double doors. Superman gonna make sure he
risky though.
checks to
He
see
could
what's
get
going on
classic
over
here.
here, and as he does,
hit the headshots
he
good
finds the intruder. Rawkus falls. Zach just backing away.
He
Thinks he's got an opportunity maybe to get some exit kills. Seems to be
he
that
wants
way
to
as
die
he makes his way over towards spawn, and 2 culprits remain for Rise on this post plant.
No.
But nothing will occur here. Neptune finds the
too
headshot,
far
and
away
Rise
for the classic
take
to do anything there.
Yeah, it's hard to know where Rise's attacking half is going to go from here. Obviously, only 1 round against Sentinels in their first official game on Breeze, but had a pretty successful attack over on TSM in the Challengers playoffs for this stage, and that's part of the way they were able to get the circuit points they needed to get one over on them to find their way in this LCQ. So we know that they have the potential, and this is essentially the same composition they were using in that match against TSM as opposed to the one against Sentinels where they were fielding a Sage on Derek instead of the Sova, and I believe they had Poise on Cypher instead of Killjoy. So they changed their comp up, and they had a big win over TSM, and we'll see if they can kind of keep
They
it up
actually
here.
broke the Hawk for once. You hardly ever see
Early
people
guiding light,
breaking
early
Skyhawks.
drone. All of this as a means to get BabyBay forward, and forward he goes, but Superman ready for it, finds the easy kill. Poise still locking things down with the Sheriff.
That's an ambitious
takes down
play
Corey's
from
trade,
BabyBay.
and with that 4v2, Rise once again, vacancy at A for a free plant.
Big to catch BabyBay.
This is
there.
not
BabyBay,
going how the stats
wanting to
imply so
chase
far.
down after that blip
The
of the
stats
recon,
implied
but
that FaZe
gets
were
punished
insanely good
for
on
it.
defense, and
We're already
Rise
seeing
were terrible
a
on
big
attack.
difference in defensive philosophy.
Sure.
You know, FaZe are looking to fight middle, and they're looking
Yes,
to do
sir.
it every round. And BabyBay is one of those Jets that really loves to use elevation changes. He's really known for that on the attack, you know, dashing up on top of things, using that elevation change to try to catch people off guard. You're seeing him do it defensively at middle that round, but
Rawkus is
does
in there
get caught
spawn.
by Rise.
Oh.
And so they're starting to get their feet underneath them here. They're about to get their 6th round. Economy's about to get pretty low for FaZe. The chance to really close the gap on the scoreboard and maybe at least stay in contest on this map. I think for a moment there, it was starting to feel like a foregone conclusion that FaZe were going to
They're not
collect
doing what
Breeze,
FaZe
but
did, they're
now,
just running around
as
with
these
the,
rounds
you know,
start to come to pass,
deliberately
Rise
dying.
starting to build a little bit of a foundation, but can
There's
they
the FaZe-
launch
the FaZe
from it?
clan aim
That
coming
is
out there.
the next question.
Difficult decisions coming through right there. Rise, after
BabyBay has
knowing
stopped
exactly
killing
where
people
Rawkus was
right
positioned,
now.
sent all
That's
4
part
members
of the
to go
issue.
chase down to make sure no rifles would withstand the round, but they'd end up losing 2. So the economic snowball has at least been put on pause just a touch for a couple of players. Of course, naturally, the money is fine, and with that, Rise will still for purchase, whereas for FaZe, the good news was you were able to give rifles over to Zach and BabyBay into this next round.
They do have Seekers available as well onto Corey. So that could help them
They
out
got
a
one
little
rifle on
bit.
each side here.
Turret already taken down. BabyJ looking to the aggressive over towards shot position. Now BabyBay joining him. It's the Baby Square defensive
That's a dash-
combo here.
that's a dash burn.
Trying to get something done.
nice
And
play.
there it is, the headshot from BabyBay onto Derek. Man advantage gain.
It's very
Now, do
clear
they
that
wanna
the-
press
like,
and
just
try
the
to get
reaction
BabyJ a
speed
weapon
and
off
the
the
aim
back
on
of that? It
BabyBay
seems
is
like that's
insane.
the thought. As you see BabyJ creep a bit
That's why he's a
forward.
duelist.
And BabyJ holding his fallback on the shot.
Shanks has also lost his dash. So there's that extra
Oh, it's
bit of
beautiful.
mobility
It's
taken off the
beautiful.
table, and
Did he not
the
see
big
that?
squared over here is flawless so far. BabyBay still continue
this
to
is
push
too
forward.
good
That's
from
his
BabyBay.
third. Super on the backside of
lucky.
Cave Staps will finally take down the Juggernaut,
Okay.
which so far has
Two
been determined to be
classics.
just BabyBay pretty much full on out, but this will be a 1v4, and more FaZe members will continue to lurk. Corey just kind of throwing shoulders with a pistol, gets the information, guiding light right over the top of his head. Super a chance to find the kill to the pistol, finds one. Opportunity to back away and reload. Snakebite will gain him some space, and then escaping.
I mean, he could,
with
yeah,
some
he could
good
run to
nimble-
B. I think he knows they're both there, right? He can get a plant down.
Wow.
Or to cover his tracks as he will make his way over for the
what's that
plant.
one?
Maybe linger around for a kill so he can catch a rotator. Does spot both of them. Gets a little bit of
Right,
damage
but
off
now
the
they
takes
know.
on
He should've just
himself.
run to the
He's
side.
the one worse for wear as it goes into this. Now he can't get over to a plant position. He's going to try to plant for himself to go back towards window. At least
Oh,
fake.
got
He
out.
does have
Got
Viper's
out.
Pit now as well. There is a hope for Superman to clutch. But look how
Oh,
quickly
what is
he
this?
advances it.
This
But
is
it's gonna
crazy.
take time for them to notice, and this could be such a big long con shift.
Rawkus had so much utility to clear out this
He's
Viper.
watching it. He's
Connect
smart.
right
He's
in the middle,
learning.
but
He's
Superman
learning.
finds the third. A 1v4, now a
He's walking
1v1.
back.
But on the spike, Zach gonna hold it to halfway, then back away. 1 HP off the decay, but Zach able to come back through, find the kill, and make sure that there was no hijinks or hilarity there. But my goodness,
Yeah,
did
that
Super
was
ever
way
get a
closer
good
than
look
it
at a
should have been,
1v4?
given how
That was a roller coaster
BabyBay
ride
was
of a
fragging
round,
at
man.
the
It looked
start.
like FaZe had that one signed, sealed, and delivered with the Baby Squared combo over at AK's. Just the ability for BabyJ and BabyBay to work together to get those kills
anyway,
and really put a stop
BabyBay's
to Rise
getting kills
early
again. It's
on
simple
them
as
trying
that.
to make that press on that side of the map and force the Superman into a tough 1v3.
I honestly
clutch. Now,
think
he
the
played
better
it
teams like 100
almost
Thieves
to
and Xsec
perfection
can
as
like
far as his
suppress
decision
BabyBay
making.
to an
I love
extent
the
though.
idea of dropping the pit.
They can
and
punish him for
immediately
the type
abandoning
of
it
plays he's
and
making.
trying to pull one over, but Rawkus was able to catch on to that pretty early. And even though he fell,
Like, I don't think 100 Thieves would let BabyBay
together
sit
and
in
take care of
mids.
business.
How about this? FaZe once again, after their establishment of pressure through mid, Rise are going to throw some utility to try to keep this clear. And it's a little bit expensive from both sides when it comes to information gathering abilities.
Shanks is not. I haven't seen Shanks get a single op kill.
Again, seeing
far.
the mid control being taken here by Rise with Shanks, but they fade off of it pretty early. We're seeing a defensive changeup as well.
Nobody's
With
watching this.
BabyBay
Just got a
with the
Killjoy
op
turret on
this
it.
time on
the
A
tube.
side of the map, so he's varying up his locations and
Killjoy
now his
alarm bot.
weaponry as well. They have 3 players here. They're playing that more kind of common Viper setup on B side of the map. We do see the lockdown come into play here for Rise. Seeker's coming forward as well.
BabyBay missed
got
an
a
up shot.
look, but could not connect. Neptune, first one forward, able to find BabyBay
Nice.
before he can escape. Corey
not spam
also
that.
revealed. And he's actually going to be detained, if I'm not mistaken. Help for BabyJ was trying to get there, not going to be able to do too much with it.
Nice.
Neptune good for one more. That's his third. Rawkus eventually for the trade, but the spike gets planted.
Rawkus and ZachaREEE do. I think
Yeah,
ZachaREE's
that's
had a
just Rise
bad
showing
poor
they're
game so
fully
far. Or
capable
a
of
quiet
playing
game.
that oppressive style as well. You know, Shanks and Neptune are no strangers to playing assertive.
It's so hard to
when
clear there,
the
all these
situation
angles.
calls for it. Good combo of lockdown and Seekers.
There's
gets
also
them
the fact you
space,
could be
big
getting
entry,
wrapped
gets detained
at any
onto
moment.
Corey. They try to reinforce him. They can't do it, so he's cleared out, and Rise just bulk up that man advantage, and now they'll get the victory
just give up.
in this 4-on-2. It's going to put them to 7, and that's a good strike back, right? I mean, FaZe just
really
won a pretty big
And
round the
Precursors on
previous,
here.
and now
Ooh,
Rise
ZachaREEE
swat
might
them
be
right
about to
back.
die
They're
here.
not going to allow them to build any momentum off of this. They're going to stay right here neck and neck as we get into the home
knife
stretch
go on,
of the
knife
second
out,
half,
knife it.
and so
Oh.
things are still very
Nice,
interesting.
yeah.
That's a big kill there to stop
They
that
got
out
the
from
op.
being saved.
For a second there, I
one
thought there
already.
was going to be a timing where the knife was going to be out and you're going to see the hindquarters of Zach for maybe an opportunity. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I think we were all at least kind of hoping for maybe a chance to see a round 1
Unban
knife
me
here
from
between
Discord,
these
you
two
good
squads, but not the case. Good clearance here from Neptune as well. I mean, we talked about kind of FaZe, kind of, I won't say reluctantly,
Yeah, well played,
not
Neptune.
really
I wanna
using
see
the
how
sky,
many
but
kills
obviously we
ZachaREEE
saw
has.
them using the Yoru a lot through stage 3. You see exactly
get
how
to see it.
both these teams are finding value and why Sky's been such a stapled conversation for just about every map so far we've had in Valorant.
Yeah, Sky just has such a great utility set
That's a
to
nice
not only
job.
be supportive, but to also play off of her own and be able to go out there and still be, you know, where a secondary duelist would play. You know, can still do a lot of those same things as far as being a trade fragger and being someone who can assist that Jet on getting that space. As we do see BabyBay daggers out on
Yeah,
this
Shanks
eco,
has
trying
just
to get
not been
something
effective
going. They
with the
do
op
still
so
have the
far.
Vandal
That's
onto Rawkus as well.
One
so
of the
they have a
problems.
couple
Again,
little,
having said that, they're making a good comeback
you know,
here.
tripwires out there, so
when they
to
weren't
speak.
expected to make a good attacking
Kind of try to
comeback.
make it as tough as they can on Rise, considering the situation. They do see Rise making that move over to B side, and they have deep mid control, so FaZe will be able
FaZe actually
to
have nobody
rotate
in the
pretty
tube.
quickly to try to get over to B and get something
Not
done.
even
But
a-
again,
an
they're
alarm
just
bot.
well behind on firepower.
Yeah, Rise should be aware of this, though. This sentry turret that's been in mid actually tagged
a
up
massive
BabyBay
gun
initially
advantage,
on
too.
his aggressive play forward, so Shanks instead is just going to use the safety net of this full Trailblazer to make his way on in with the early blades.
Nice.
Finds one, gets the reset. One more over the top. How about one more? Neptune found the third. That was over by the connector, and
Attack
FaZe
there.
defensively
is that
completely
not his
faltered.
shot?
Left
No,
with a
that's- okay.
2v5, and you would think maybe another situation where they'll consider
okay.
a save, as Rawkus does at least tally up one kill onto Shanks.
Yeah, he'll be able to hold on to that Vandal. BabyJ, though, getting caught out into middle, so that will not go along. But what is happening right now is FaZe has built up 3 ults, and Rawkus will have his as well. So
Is
they'll basically
Rawkus
have
giving up here?
all their ults
That's
aside from
just-
Corey going into this next
He's
round.
gonna try and hide.
that's
He
going
might
to make
get
it
this
tough
kill.
for Raz to make progress, especially since this was an eco as well from FaZe, remember. So they're
I
gonna
honestly,
have
it does
plenty
perplex
of
me
weapons
sometimes,
coming
like,
into this also.
clear
So this
every
is gonna be a
angle.
big test
No?
for Rise. Can you battle against a fully bought FaZe that's fully
Maybe it's
ulted
just
out
the
as well
pressure
for
of
the most
performing
part?
in a tournament, but like, I'm literally like
Rawkus
gold too,
Very
and
well
I
could
clear
find
every
one
angle.
more point of contact here before the round comes to an end. Flash
What?
will be there.
What?
Hello, Neptune. Oh,
What?
boy. For a
She
second,
looks
it's
left
one of
and
those
right.
things where you find yourself hiding in plain sight and it nearly pays off. But the kill will be tallied, and Rise bring us within 2. So, I mean,
Okay.
you think back, and I think for a lot of North American fans outside of what we saw at Berlin, you go back to stage 3, and
9-3 curses
we
on.
have not seen this much offensive success in the region in a long time.
Yeah. And again, FaZe have definitely shown their ability to play this map defensively very well in the past. And so there we have it. Viper's Pit available, Hunter's Fury, and Lockdown. So a lot of alts for FaZe to put into use, particularly for retake situations, as well as that Viper
Pit?
to maybe have a
What's
little
she
bit
gonna
more of
Viper
an
Pit?
easier
Mid?
time defensively playing something solo if they want to go that route.
You got an up battle again here.
BabyBay mid. Sentry turret finds
Oh, it's just too
Shanks.
good.
Oh, big duel. Once again,
Interesting
between the
dash
Jets
forward.
and
I,
the early
again,
moments.
I swear, I don't think I've seen Shanks
That
get an
threw me
up kill.
off.
I could be wrong.
Just in case. I mean, hey, that door does provide at least some sort of cover once you
Sure.
get closer to it.
I like how he didn't fall for the turret. He went and looked for the other side and found it. And that was one of the big reasons why FaZe
Hello,
are
Aura, how
having
you
so
doing?
much success on their attack, is how many opening picks BabyBay was able to acquire. Been a little bit more quiet in this half in that regard, but that's a big one to start off this round number 19.
Yeah, well, I need to see how many kills ZachaREEE has.
Now we see Rise looking to pivot for a big B hit here. Seekers forward.
Has to be used if you want to find any sort of entry. Neptune able to find Zach off the initial trade. Corey revealed through mid-map. And Rawkus defensively. Hunter's Fury going to find 1+ damage onto Neptune. So
whoever
the
died to
defense
Hunter's
is still
Fury was in
finding
trouble
at
there.
least some contempt here
Nice.
when it comes to locking down this B side. And as Rawkus takes down Neptune, it's all down to Derek. He does still have 2
Why did
shock
that-
darts plus this Alodrome, but this would be a
Not
1v3.
tagging him?
Also, I guess it's worth
I was-
mentioning, the spike's in his back pocket, and oh my goodness, Rawkus, a student of geometry, showcase at the highest level there, chunks down to 70 HP, and then finishes off the kill himself
Yeah,
because
FaZe-
why
FaZe
not?
clan are back.
Big round, FaZe tally it, and go up back to 3 rounds in difference.
And that burnt what Alts Rise had. And guess what? Lockdown and Viper's Pit still available for FaZe. They were not required.
I know nothing
on that
about
victory.
Valor, so I have no
Mostly
clue
things
what
should
this
just be
guy is
able
on
to win
about.
some big long range duels. Strictly BabyBay getting the opening pick.
Yeah.
Able to trade out more efficiently on the
I mean,
side itself. from that
break it
moment
down.
forward.
It's 5v5. Kill
I feel
everybody,
like
you
a
win the
lot of
round.
it has to be on the fact that while Neptune got these 2 instant duels, Rawkus
There's
was
also
able
a
to
defending and
pick
attacking
onto
team, and the
Poise,
attacking team has to
which
plant the
kept
bomb.
them a man ahead, and they were able to also quickly find Neptune there on site to get it into the 3-on-1.
Quick defensive Viper's Pit plus a Trailblazer over through B. BabyBay
It's about
mid-map.
finding a way to end
Able
the
to lock
sites.
down one as Rise. We're
Is he
trying
timing
to change
the-
the tempo up and move quickly over towards A, largely through the middle of the map. And that has forced BabyJ to pull out his lockdown, but this
What
has
is
been
Shanks
fine.
doing?
The chaos that was provided by the lockdown itself has allowed FaZe defensive members to find free kills on these Rise members rotating out.
What is going
Not
on?
only that, but they were also sending BabyBay all the way through into window room. So they had B completely cleared out. They still have Viper's Pit on the main archway. They still have A Hall's control. And they have a 2-minute advantage now as well. They've actually
Yeah.
abandoned the pit. BabyJ gets a kill on shots. I mean, they're all over the place.
I
on
didn't,
some
I
of the
really
side
see. I
things.
didn't really understand what happened. I
Rise
wasn't
did
paying
not
attention
try to
properly.
navigate this chaos all too
But
well.
I think it's GG Rise.
But maybe an opportunity for Poise to sneak behind.
Gonna go
You've got
12-8.
Supa with the spike, making his way up mid. And this clearance should at least have the information that
No way,
Supa could
right?
play
No.
for Planet B
ZachaREEE
unless they want to play for
defending
kills first. Looks like they're going to do the latter. Poise has been figured out. But with that find, one nearly a lineup,
Very
but
nice of
Rawkus
him.
turns his attention from one to the other, finding both the last 2 Rise members and now map point for Rise. Or pardon me, for FaZe.
Yeah, FaZe dominant from the start. A little bit of a comeback from Rise, but as they approach the finish line,
Mojo
FaZe
kinda get a
puts up
Sui.
the wall.
What?
We're going to, again, just see FaZe able to create a lot of chaos in the early round, able to find opening picks. Again, it's BabyBay striking first with that operator, just as he had done in the previous round, giving FaZe that 5-on-4 to work from. Shanks got absolutely destroyed in
What
the
was
ALs,
What
has
is
no
what
way
has
out.
Shanks been doing this
And
entire
that just
game?
sets FaZe up for success. They will now have 4
I
map
keep missing
points
the
here
kill board, I
to
think.
try to get that 1-0 edge
Hopefully
in
we'll
this
see it
series.
soon.
Again, this is the opening match in the upper quarterfinals. Loser drops down to that lower bracket, and with only 1 spot available for champs at the end of this thing, to get knocked down that early is almost a death sentence.
This is so tough for Rise. You've
It's
got
not a
no
death sentence.
tools
You have to beat
available
everybody
outside
to
of your
win
normal utility,
last chance
and you've
qualifier.
already
So
got BabyJ
just win every
defensively
game.
pushed
Simple.
into his stapled position.
That's what you gotta do.
front
That's
side
what
case.
somebody has
BabyBay
to do.
watching from behind. There's the Alpha. That'll push him back. Trying to use the cloud burst
Wait,
just
what?
to keep
Oh,
his
what
main
is
counterpart
this?
safe, and boy has he. There There's
Oh
the
my
second
goodness,
and
look
the
at that,
third.
look at that, look at that jet
There
smoke.
is no stopping that baby square duo over towards A. Neptune has caused
That
entry
jet
and a
smoke
point
was
of ingress
perfect.
over towards B. That actually
One
allows
way.
a plant. So even though it's a 2v4, time will be on the favor of Rise.
Oh, how did that hit?
Blipped was Neptune there.
Oh,
Didn't
Corey
get
was so
caught, though,
close
so they're
there.
going to have a chance to maybe still fend this off.
What?
Oh.
Don't whip, dude.
Missed shots from Corey, but trains it
We've
back
seen
in.
it,
Ah,
we've
he's
seen
seen
it.
Supa. BabyBay,
What?
no
Where's the
quick
comms?
scope. And this is so tough. Supa, he's just got the SMG, trying to swap it over to an operator. Corey's
game
already on
over.
the defuse. No
Yeah.
HP to work with.
13-8.
And Rise gave it a heck of a go.
Pretty comfortable
but
for FaZe, no
come up
9-3
just
kiss.
a touch too short. FaZe win their map
Defenders
pick
win.
to the tune of a 13-8 scoreline
Yeah, no
on
9-3
Breeze.
kiss.
Yeah, it's a situation where they just had such a big attacking half in the first. Again, a lot of opening picks from BabyBay. You flip the script defensively, kind of the same story.
Chat,
Took
let
them
me know if you
second
guys
to
get an
there, but
advert.
again, BabyBay
I'm pressing
getting
the
some
ad
big opening
button.
picks and multiple rounds in a row in the stretch to win the
pressing it
game.
3 times.
And also that combination of him and Baby.
Does anybody have an
Jay
advert?
defending long A was also massive. So all in all, a pretty dominant win for FaZe. The scoreboard won't necessarily say that on the surface because Rise did make a nice little effort in the second half to try to make a bit of a comeback, but they just never really truly threatened FaZe's lead. They were always at least 3 or 4 rounds behind. And when
I mean, that's
FaZe
the
needed
basics,
to
alright?
tighten up,
Click
they
on
were
the
able
head.
to do so just fine.
It is an aim game, just like Fortnite at the end of the day, you know?
Well, and how many times were we kind of labeling, hey, this is an important round or a must-win round to come through? Yeah, Rise did provide us the result.
You know, like Fortnite's an aim game with added building. Valorant is an aim game with added abilities, you know? Like flash and, grenade and stuff like that, you know? Dash, etc. Still an aim game at the end of the day.
To be honest, you give them a little bit of an inch and they'll take a little bit
But it is also, even more than Fortnite, like you're implying, it is also a brain game. As in, you need strategy to take sites, to hold sites, to outplay the opponents, to predict what the opponents are going to do.
Close. All of a sudden, it was BabyBay opening pick 3 rounds in a row, and that's it.
Yeah.
BabyJ also a big part of that in tandem, helping defend that A side of the map. I mean, they basically
So long
locked
to
that
learn
down.
the
Rise
mechs
never
of a
fell
game.
on A.
I mean,
there were 2 rounds where BabyJ and
it's the same
BabyBay
for anybody, though,
double
right?
up and destroy K's, and then they had the lockdown round on A halls where they trapped Shanks. So just dominated that portion of the map defensively towards the end of the game.
So much confidence showcase, but that's just map 1 of our best of 3. Ascent awaits us when
Are you
we
a
come
Kovacs
back
god,
from
are
the
you?
break, and Rise need to find a way to send this to a map 3. We'll see how it unfolds. Do not go
happening.
anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Right. We should get stats now. I'm pretty sure Shanks did terrible and FaZe's Viper did terrible. Yeah, ZachaREEE was 6 and 11. Like this is going to be a problem. This for ZachaREEE and FaZe is going to be a problem if they play Xset Cloud9 100 Thieves, and they will have to if they want to win this thing. They need ZachaREEE to perform. They need ZachaREEE to wake up, right? And like Shanks is 11 and 17 on Jet. I don't remember a single op kill. I could be wrong. Like, it was just bad from Shanks. Your Jet has to do better than that. He did seem to get 1 4K. But look at BabyBay with 5 3Ks and a 4K. And 4 2Ks. Like that was they got BabyBay diff there. They got hard BabyBay diffed. You had 391 ACS, which is an insane amount of ACS. Insane amount of it. Average damage per round 226. But they get like what ZachaREEE. I mean I know like controllers have to be pretty passive and they usually bottom fragging, but like the enemy Viper Superman 11 and 17. Maybe ZachaREEE just had a bad game. Maybe he's nervous. I don't know. But if that's their worst player on FaZe Clan, that's a problem. Go outside. Why would I go outside? You go outside. I'm pretty sure you're talking to Aura, but yeah. Yeah, it's playing adverts right now. So I'm gonna keep playing adverts. Is anybody getting an advert? I'm pressing the insert ad button. They definitely need to improve this on YouTube. Like Twitch streamers can play ads much more easily, or well, not easily, but with much more certainty whether the ad is actually running or not. I swear, I press my ad button, it doesn't do anything. Is anybody getting an advert right now? You're allergic to oxygen? How can you be allergic to oxygen? Like what? Skipped in 5 seconds? Yeah, but it gave you one, right? Okay, that's good. I'm gonna press it again. As long as you're getting one. I don't mind if you're skipping it. You didn't get an ad? I have YouTube Premium, which Discord Nitro gave me for 3 months, so I don't get ads. I think it's expiring pretty soon, though. Yeah, I pressed it like 8 times, Paddy. Jose Mourinho. Yeah. What else is there? Rawkus, the silver, 20 and 9 on silver. As opposed to the Rise silver, 7 and 16. This is a mirror comp, by the way, so you can compare it pretty well, right? The FaZe Clan Killjoy, 16 and 11. The Rise Killjoy, 10 and 17. The Rise Sky, top fragging, 19 and 16. Corey from FaZe, 12 and 13. Again, like Ethan from 100 Thieves, based on this, clearly a better Sky. That's just a one map comparison, but clearly better. YouTube Premium cringe LMAO. It's actually been nice, you know, not to have any adverts. I'm not gonna pay for it though. I'm pretty sure I cancelled it straight away because it tries to take your card details and make you, you know, pay for it. I will go back to watching the ads. I keep getting what's called CRM ads. Right. Anyway, let's just listen.
It's kind of already too late for them to fully bring it back.
Yeah. Mimi, you talked about at the start of the day that was the matchup we were going to have to keep our eyes on, BabyBay and Shanks, who is going to pull through. But Bach, if we're looking at the side of Rise in that first half, it felt like it was some of the repetition of the same things that didn't work out for them, not quite being able to capitalize upon the aggression they were enacting themselves.
Yeah, if you actually watch that first half, a lot of times when Rise would get aggressive in that first half, it was backfiring, and a large part of that was due to the tremendous amount of map control that Rise was surrendering elsewhere on the map. Dust said it a few times, it felt like Rise wasn't really playing mid, and it was just BabyBay kind of having a field day with that. Now, that obviously changed as we switched gears and went into the second half a little bit, as you aren't able to play as aggressively, but it didn't necessarily stop BabyBay from trying. If you watch that second half, there was a few times where he charged down mid, but looking specifically at round number 11, it's a flawless round win, and a large part of that was off that mid control that Rise continued to surrender over to FaZe, just allowing them to take control of that portion of the map and give them flexibility across both sides.
Yeah, Rise finding a bit more success off of that aggression when they were on attack, but on the defense side, it wasn't quite working out to their favor. Now, FaZe did stay true to the map's name as they made map 1 a breeze, and no play better encompass this than our instant karma presented by Credit Karma Money, where a well-placed flash from Neptune called upon a storm of free kills for the squad.
This could have been kind of a precursor to several rounds in a row run by Rise. You can see that FaZe gets access to the site relatively easily, but Neptune is playing off the backside of site, and BabyBay is playing in an advanced position. Again, no surprise. So Neptune tosses a flash around the corner, and both these players are blind, and there's the ult coming in as well that does significant damage that puts them in the winning position. But it was all off the back of the flash coming in from Neptune that set that up. So they have that teamwork dynamic that we want to see from them. It just doesn't feel like we got to see a whole lot of it.
Yeah, and I think that kind of combination was one of the shining moments for Rise. When we got into the second half, what was looking so good, it was Neptune and Shanks together. Neptune's flashes were very well placed. Previously, back in Stage 3, we didn't get to see a ton of the Neptune on Sky. We saw a lot of Phoenix out of him. I hope we get to see more Sky, because the coordination between these two players was working so well for them in this game. But again, that first half, it was just too dominant for it to really mean anything in the end.
Neptune really evolving his role on that team to make sure that Shanks is positioned to shine as much as possible. If we're looking a bit over towards FaZe side once more, we talked about the impact that BabyBay had over on the attacking side, but Mimi, it felt like he was still keeping up that aggression on defense, just landing things a bit better for him at times, maybe than looking at the entry on the opposite end.
Hello.
Yeah, I think that on the defensive side, we saw those moments, right? Especially in mid. BabyBay wanted to keep doing the same thing. He wanted to create that space and to claim it. But Rise actually did a pretty good job of adapting and being able to shut that one on down. We saw a couple rounds where they went completely passive, where they just kind of sat in their spawn, let the mistakes be made in the FaZe camp. And when we heard from FaZe themselves in that little video, that's something they can struggle with sometimes. They can struggle when teams really change the pace on them. So they had to learn. They had to adapt in slowing things down just a little bit and being more calculated in the aggression.
One of the things that we saw pretty regularly from BabyBay on the defensive side was going up on the mid wall and playing off of that mid wall over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And early on in that second half, we saw it punished. They sent an owl drone up over the wall and it wraps around Pillar. They spot Viper sitting on the other side of Pillar, so BabyBay decides to get aggressive. He wants that kill. He's bloodthirsty at this point. You can't blame him. He had 11 first bloods in that first map. You really can't blame the man for trying to continue to press the issue because it was clearly working at that point. Goes for a dash in, does not work. The tailwind actually backfires. He lands directly in the sights of the Viper and can't shoot while he waits for the reset and ultimately gets punished on that. And we saw a few instances like that where BabyBay got a little too over-aggressive, a little too
stuff like that is not going to work.
And it put them in a bad position. But at the same point in time, like we said, it worked out so many times, so you really can't fault them. And when you have a lead as large as that, you're kind of trying to put an exclamation point on that first win, right? You're trying to set a statement like, we're here to play, don't mess around. And honestly, you want to close out that map as strong as you possibly can so that success carries over into the second map, which is another good map for FaZe.
Yeah, and I want to say that I have a feeling that Rise, we might not see them fall into that same issue of struggling when the momentum isn't with them, because first half, really rough for them, but they rallied. They started bringing things back. It was looking a lot better, and that actually gives me all right hopes. Well, Ascent is still a good map for FaZe. It's not a bad one for them whatsoever, and I think if they're able to keep up that reset mentality, come in clean, and start a little stronger here, there's a really good chance for them to maybe push us to a third.
I mean, we talk about it, right? It's not a bad map for them looking back at Challenger playoffs from Stage 3. They were able to pick up a win over Sentinels, 13-7 off the map. That said, the game last time they played Ascent right before that, it was against FaZe, and they lost 6-13. So there is some history there, and they have played this team. But in general, it is a pretty strong map. What we had said coming into this series in general, there was a tremendous amount of overlap. The teams had a very similar map pool, with some exceptions. I'd say Breeze definitely favored FaZe a little bit more. Both teams were not really that strong on Icebox, but Split was the crutch that Rise was propping themselves up on. So when FaZe came in and kicked that one out from under them, they immediately toppled over and lost balance. Sure, they still have Ascent. That's their other leg that's still standing. But ultimately, it's going to be very difficult because they're matching up against a team who is very proficient on the map, 10-4 from going back to the beginning of Stage 3 on the map. That's pretty solid statistics. Even if Rise somehow pulls out the win here, we still got to go to Bind, which is another strong map for FaZe. But I do look at this second map as a really, really difficult test for Rise. And it could start out the same way that the first map started, with FaZe getting on a huge string of round wins.
Yeah, and it's going to be a difficult one, but let's frame the positives that they have. And I think one of them is getting to start on the attacking side. Well, this map tends to be pretty defender-sided. That's why FaZe is electing to start there. I think Rise generally works a lot better on the attack, especially when we get the op in the hands of Shanks, when we get Supa playing the Astra, which he does in this map. I mean, this is one of their maps where I feel like they can sometimes feel comfortable in slowing down just a little bit, where they can play a bit more of a defaulted style and let their duelists loose. Let Shanks and Neptune do whatever they want to set the team up for success. And then you have a player like Supa in the back lines using his utility incredibly effectively to enable it. I feel like we started to see so much more out of this team, especially on Ascent here after he joined.
You know, this is also not always a strong map for BabyBay, which could be a bit of a problem for them. When you start going back, you can find a lot of examples where BabyBay struggles with consistency on this map, most specifically looking at the defensive side, which is exactly what we saw on the last map. The defensive side just didn't really work out so well for BabyBay. But I remember watching match after match of BabyBay playing on Ascent throughout all the stages of VCT, and typically speaking, that defensive side was brutal. Now, on the attacking side, BabyBay will turn it up massively. You can almost expect a night and day difference between the two different playing styles and how it works for the team. But I do worry that with them starting on the defensive side, BabyBay won't necessarily be able to get that ball rolling as quickly. He won't really be able to pick up steam the way that he was able to on that first map.
Yeah, and for BabyBay, I mean, look at what we saw on the defensive side on that last map. He had, what, 8 entry frags on the first half, and it really fell off once he got to the defense. We saw him over-pushing. We saw the team getting overzealous as a whole, and if FaZe come into this map with the same mentality, they let that momentum work for them a little too much, we could see those issues crop back up. But this is where I kind of bring back that conversation about coaching, about Trippy, about JDM, and especially about JDM. How is he going to kind of set the tone going into this one? Is he going to make sure that the team stays level-headed and we don't see those same mistakes happening early on Ascent?
Yeah, Rise did find some moments in that last map and are looking to find more of them here in map 2. I know that Mimi already mentioned that maybe we see Astro come in for Supa, a very strong pick for him, but Bach, with everybody going kind of towards the standard, the comfort, locking in things like the Sova during the last map, how do you think things may switch up here on Ascent?
Actually, the one player I'm looking at is Neptune. Like, you can see it on screen right now. It says Neptune typically goes towards the Phoenix role. I'm not necessarily convinced that we'll see Phoenix played out here, but I am interested to see. There's the Astra lock-in from Superman. No real surprise there. Corey going to Sky as well, but this is where I want to see what happens, and that's exactly what I expected. Okay, so we see a Sky come in. We're seeing Phoenix drop off. The pick rate is getting incredibly low, but especially on a map like Ascent, you're not really going to see it picked up all that often, so it's no surprise to see the change there.
Yeah, watching back some of the VODs of Neptune when he was playing the Phoenix, it felt like they had good ideas with the utility. They were going for the A lobby fights, they were using it in creative ways, but they never got that much value out of it. And we just saw kind of a clinic in the Shanks-Neptune duo, especially when they can start on the attack. I think this is a great map for that to come out.
Yeah, we'll have to see it all go down here on Ascent, and also being over on the attacker side. Maybe Rise will have a bit more momentum to fall into their favor.
I opened
Let's see if Rise can bring out the surprise for us, or if FaZe will go ahead and make this a clean 2-0, sending it back on over to I Hold Shift and Dust for the call.
Well, as much as things very much so feel the same, they are a bit different here, Dust, especially looking at Corey in particular. I think that's kind of the main focus. We've seen a lot of that Jet Raze combo. Not the case here for FaZe, but on the other hand, hey, Rise has some, storied history on this map as well.
Yeah, again, pointing out this is only Corey's 4th time playing Sky in an official match setting, and definitely this is the biggest team he's ever played that agent against. And certainly on this map, you're known for him to be that staple Raze, so that's a big pivot for him. And yeah, you were talking about Rise. While they have had a strong history on this map, Shift, they have lost 4 of their last 6 games on it. And all of those losses, they were unable to even hit double digits. So their recent history has not really served them well. Meanwhile, FaZe Clan have a 76% win rate on this map over this year with 33 games played, and they're near 60% on both sides of the map as far as success goes. So they're looking hot right now.
We're going in.
BabyBay
we're fighting for mid.
A lot of trouble. I was about to say a little bit of trouble, but it's a world of hurt, or is it? Wait a second, BabyBay. No way does he find this again. Corey from the side of tree able to come back through to make sure that things largely stay safe for FaZe's defense, but is there a position that you can put BabyBay that he can't work his way out of? Because, oh my goodness, that is an immaculate triple. Rawkus will finish off. Derek and FaZe take the opening pistol again.
Yeah, he's just sneaking out right now.
Pure
as
aggression.
usual. Had a hot start to the first game. Collects it again here on this. Comes right as the smokes fade. Twisted Sheriff, great use of the flash off Catwalk to set him up. Zach also there for reinforcements. It's all of FaZe fighting together. No one's on an island. No one's going for the hero play. They're layering their utility, and they're moving together as one unit. And that's one thing that's always served FaZe well, is that they're always on the same page. Yeah, it might be aggression, but again, it's supplemented by good utility usage, and everyone is on together. No one is showing any fear on this team.
Rawkus, early recon bolt, followed up by a shock dart. It was just a sentry drone that was placed, though, so really no harm, no foul coming through from either side. Corey looking for information, but not really going to be able to see too much, as the Astra Nebula have largely kept most of these offensive members concealed over through mid.
We're seeing Rise trying to peek over here, but again, BabyBay with the Sheriffs again serving him well. The other Baby counterpart looking for the fight on Catwalk, even exchange, so some space gained, but BabyBay is now the clothing line that is going to be cutting those necks off right now in the site.
Boy's doing what he can, but I mean, geez Louise. It is abusive when you've got that much participation from BabyBay.
Well,
and look, we
they
were
want a pistol
surprised,
in their save run,
but
so
we were startled
maybe
just
the
with the start that
commentators should
BabyBay
chill a
had
little
with the
bit.
Sheriff. We're now getting a little bit more numb than used to it, but if you can find a way to bring an operator to the table round 3 again, man, it just is going to feel so bad for Rise 2 maps in a row early.
Yeah, that's a very good point. One thing I will say about Rise, though, coming into this full buy, is they are a really well-balanced team on this map on the attacking side. Even though I highlighted they've had some struggles recently when it comes to results, their attacking side, they have some creativeness. They're a well-balanced team on when they decide to go aggressive, when they decide to just play more of a map control style, and just kind of play out the defaults and just kind of work the mid-rounding. They're really well-rounded. They just need to show the individual form to go along with it, I think.
Well, FaZe did try to offer up a very early hit with BabyBay moving aggressively from support from Corey, but does not find anything over to the front door of A. Now Rise started to find maybe a point of entry over through Tree, but after the show of force, they back down and are largely just okay lingering through the middle of the map at the moment.
Yeah, good grab wall there from FaZe to push Rise back, as well as not overcommitting off the back of their Trailblazer to try to actually push into a fight. But as you said, Rise making that pivot in some mid control, starting to attack Pizza. There is still some Killjoy utility, though, available right before the market that has yet to be shut down just yet. So still could give the defense a bit of an alert. They also do have Rawkus here kind of watching. There comes that utility. Boy's getting eaten alive with the Nano down to 40 HP. He does break the door, and now FaZe, even though it's a fake, they see the spot of the cross back into this A site, and BabyBay is up to the task.
So much composure from BabyBay, but only finds one. Also, in the same breath, there was that kill through the middle of the map, closer towards over the tree. So with this, now it's just Spectres. 3v4 situation. Defuse now required as well for FaZe. Rise gonna split this defensive hold. 2 players in the site. You've got Derek watching on the outside, and a long flank coming through from Poised. Definitely putting a lot of pressure on FaZe to find these entries. Not going to find the first trade. Will be the BabyJ looking for the second, but will come up empty. And now Zach will just wait for exits.
Again, this is that creativeness I was talking about from Rise at the start of the round. Once they get guns in their hands and they have a little bit more flexibility on how they want to implement their firepower and utility, they have a lot of different pages they can turn on the playbook. And that's one of those situations where they feint A early. They use that to get some mid control. They throw a nice pressure on Market, and then they double right back up to Catwalk, catching FaZe in mid-rotation. They overwhelm BabyBay on the A side, only allowing him 1 frag. So that's something that you can expect to see from Rise throughout this game, I think. I think they're going to be a lot more at home on the attack on this map compared to Breeze, as far as, you know, what types of things they can try to implement on the attack. You know, how they're able to play the map control style, how they're able to, you know, still go for the fast pushes when need be, and just try to, you know, poke and prod the defense, try to, you know, find gaps in their rotations, and hopefully this is a sign that Rise are going to have a good contest here. Again, what worries me is some of their recent results have left you hoping for more.
I was going to say, so in that mix, though, you also have to keep in mind that, you know, the 4 out of 6 losses, 2 of the wins, one of them was versus Sentinels when, you know, we were still in the Sentinels' heyday. So do you retain any confidence from the result there at all, watching back that vid?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely is something that serves them well, but they also took a huge L to FaZe when they last met each other on this map, so that can sometimes maybe cancel it out in maybe someone's minds. So I think it could still go either way. I think this map is more of a coin flip than Breeze was. I don't think FaZe are as heavy of a favorite on a stint as opposed to Breeze, just due to the comfort that Rise is going to have here. But again, FaZe have had such a glorious win rate on Ascent throughout the course of 2021, and they have a lot of games played to earn that stat. So that really, you know, adds the value to the success they've had on Ascent. So
just wasting time right now.
We're going to see Rise. You know, they've slowed it down quite a lot here. Kind of poking and prodding over towards B lobby and A side, but not committing to anything just yet.
They have at least pulled out the Owl drone from Rawkus, so that tool is gone. Plus, Corey has no more information gathering tools as well. So this little bit of a cold war that's happened in the first 60 seconds has actually allowed Rise to retain more of those executabilities that you need. Cosmic Divide will be in the mix. There's the Trailblazer. Neptune looking for information. Not really going to see too much of anything, which will, of course, will mean that Rise can jump on very quickly. Just deal with the sentry turret and then hopefully plant for something quickly. But FaZe looking to try to battle on back and contest this fight. 13 seconds on the clock. Have to stick this if you're Supa and will be allowed to get the plant off. And it looks like FaZe are going to wait a little bit longer before they actually get this retake on the way.
Yeah, now Astra Stars are coming down as soon as the Cosmic Divide falls to
Placing
further try to stall FaZe out from finding their way back onto site. The BabyBay trying to force his way through it, but Shanks cuts him off at the pass. And that's one man less now that FaZe had to work with to try to crack this thing back open. They may even start backing off as Rawkus is scared of being flanked at middle, and he would be right, and that puts Shanks in now a deeper position, but flipped and forced back, and that's a big kill from BabyJ. Maybe they could do it now.
Okay.
They would have to go very quickly and do this still very cleanly. Supa's able to find Zach, and now there's just not enough time. Looking for kills, poised, make sure none more will fall, at least onto the site itself there. Eventually able to tally up BabyJ, and the last two remaining players will back away, but Corey not able to hightail it fast enough. So it's another weapon down on the ground, and Rise battling into this one, find themselves tied at 2 through 4.
Yeah, Rise using a familiar tactic on this map with that Cosmic Divide as Superman. They like to use it on that left side, you know, blocking off door, blocking off, giving them some balcony pressure, and just using it as a reinforcement to get a spike plant. They do so
Sorry
very
for the
successfully
repair,
there.
Mojo. I played a Rocket
Now
League.
FaZe are going to be on the save, just pistols. They do have a lockdown, and BabyBay may elect to go ahead and ult out the daggers to give them a little bit of something to work with, but still, Rise is very much in the driver's seat coming into this round 6. Or 5, I guess, because I can't do math. But we got there in the end.
Look,
Casters and math, man. No,
it's a class that should be offered in college because nobody would pass it. I'm sure.
Is that a good reason to offer it?
I don't know.
We need it. Let's put it that way. That's a good reason to have it.
That's what I was about to say. It's like if it was something that was required as part of the job description.
Could be huge, yeah.
It default
might be part of my preparations next time. I mean, I do a lot of VOD reviewing and all that good stuff.
Doing
a little
exactly
bit of quick
the same
math
thing
would be a good addition.
Yeah, we just got to pull up the old abacus and just start counting.
FaZe are not watching mid at all.
Interestingly enough here, even with the eco round in front of them, Rise have given a lot of respect over to FaZe, letting kind of these informational tools be expended. Rawkus again empty of the Aldrone early. Corey just has one guiding light, so again the flash potential not going to be there as Corey uses his last charge.
Yeah, you know, I like Rise, you know, taking their time to make sure they clear out all their corners. There's a bit of a high stack here from BabyJ, and now BabyBay's found the opening pick here with the daggers up top. And if BabyJ can stay hidden, if enough distraction is put out there by BabyBay and Corey, that could be a problem, but they back off the spike now to B, which is wide open. It's only Rawkus hiding in the back with the classic.
Did work with the classic here.
Bide time, especially, and they don't check him. He's able to slide out, but the smoke provides cover. Shanks able to find a big kill, but so is BabyJ. There's still a threat being posed by FaZe, but now it's being erased.
Yeah, Corey, though, does keep the play alive. 2v3 situation. Neptune lurking through B main, able to find one. The Hawk will be set through. BabyBay stays safe through the Cloudburst, looking for a weapon. Shanks also dealt with. This is still very much so doable, but caught in the reload. BabyBay not able to have enough ammunition. Defending Killjoy ult will be spent. Lockdown in play. Neptune's trying to delete it and eventually gets the job done. But now a bit of deterrence coming through as you've got the Nanoswarm locking down the alley.
The way they use Skiles.
For the play. Alarm bot able to at least reveal, if not make vulnerable. BabyJ trying to stick, not enough time. Neptune gets the kill, plus the Red Bull clutch. Rise up 3-2.
Nice try, labored 3-2 though, for being 100% honest about his shift. I think that was a little bit tougher than they were anticipating, considering that FaZe had little to work with in that round, but they made the most of it. BabyBay with the daggers getting multiple kills. Neptune faced with a tough 1v1, but shuts down the lockdown very efficiently, avoids this Nanoswarm, uses the guiding light to get in here, just constantly avoiding the utility, and ultimately coming up with the clutch.
He could have wallbanged that, by the way.
He just went for the peak for him. It's going to give them the lead, but now back to buying is FaZe and putting an op in the hands of BabyBay, and Rawkus will have the old big gunner.
BabyBay was incredible at the operator, but I would say on the other side, Shanks only tallied a single kill in that 1v1, just kind of going on with both Mimi and Box point about the 1v1 we kind of centrally focused between both of these jet mains.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Lockdown for poise.
Now.
Yep.
Can
also a matter of when. Yeah.
It's going to happen here. And Seekers will be also the follow-up to get them sight. They may also layer it to where they use Seekers later once they have sight to kind of get some intel on the retake. Make sure they're not getting flanked. So they have a couple different ways they can do it, but they're going to have to break through a lot of utility to get in here.
Superman
also going to start setting up those stars as we'd expect.
The Aldrun will go first. Lockdown will be placed immediately afterwards. There's the Seeker, slightly delayed.
Oh, that's interesting.
Gravity well will slow down the majority of Rise. These nanoswarms are so big. Shanks has been tagged down to 54 HP.
They have deliberately trapped themselves.
Two players
so
detained
deep, try and
defensively.
bait them out.
BabyBay though still with the operator. It actually gets affected by the Trailblazer.
I think they
Was
deliberately
already
got
seen.
caught.
That question yet to be determined.
But Rise
as the
fighting
spike
it.
is planted and a regrowth comes
Rise
through,
ain't fighting.
Rise has stayed healthy on the site and they found themselves an exit.
Yeah, Boy's able to replace that turret on top of Generator as well. Good flash from Neptune to start denying a little bit of control over towards tree position.
We have a flank.
Late flank though coming up.
Double flank,
from
not just a
Rise.
single flank. We have a double flank.
Neptune Poise able to find a couple. Poise able to double down. Shanks finds one more. There's
Right
that
flank.
delayed flank you very aptly mentioned. Just up to BabyBay 1v4.
like late
really
flanks,
no chance he would go
so
for this,
smart.
but he's still very much so under threat, knowing that the operator
It's
is
so
in play.
hard to
Heck
deal
of a
with.
shot onto
What a
Shanks.
shot.
Has a chance to smoke and dash away with that reset. Supa is nearby. And will BabyBay recognize this? A couple of stray shots being sent, keeping BabyBay's attention towards the left. Can they get the operator out of his hands? Oh,
course you
BabyBay
can't.
finds
It's
another!
BabyBay.
No,
Okay.
unable to stay alive.
got
But
him in
the
the
op
end.
falls into empty hands as it just trails away on the ground.
Dude, BabyBay is
Yeah,
insane.
just a great attack from Rise and also a great
I'm
double
scared- I'm
back
scared
with
for
that
100
flank
Thieves
up
with
middle
BabyBay.
to kind of be that insurance policy.
I
that
think-
seemed
I
like it was
think
actually
they
to be
counter. I
required.
think they
Rise
could've
were
have to counter
holding
him.
onto the site pretty well, but
Yeah.
had it there
Like
if it was
people like
needed and was able
Ethan
to
and Nitro
do some
just have
cleanup
better
duties.
reactions.
Meanwhile, FaZe
Some of
are
these
on
players.
saving duties here with
The
just the
sooner,
pistols
obviously.
here coming into this. And yeah, you're seeing Rise really kind of flex those attacking muscles a lot better here on the Ascent.
Rise
You're
are
seeing a lot of
rising
good
back up here.
variety, which again I think is a strength of Rise. Their ability to play really well with the map control, with the mid round, and just the team play overall. Something we didn't get to see much of on Breeze.
But they're pushing out of both.
Rawkus
They're pushing out of both
Wants
areas.
to threaten B main. Had some assistance as ZachaREEE was nearby. BabyBay also
That
looking
was
to get aggressive
ambitious.
through
He had
A.
his knife
Not going
out.
to find much there as Supa makes sure the flank stays safe. And with that, big numbers now for Rise with the weapon advantage. 5v4. And look at the
It's not
information
even
coming
touched
through
the
mid-map.
corner.
It's a
There's nobody
Trailblazer
there,
that
right?
clears
But I'm
out
not sure that
all
Swarm
of
can even
mid-market.
touch the corner.
Yeah, again, FaZe utilizing their abilities well to get some map control, get some intel, feel comfortable moving across the map. They're going to start testing the water storage tree position. There is some Killjoy utility in play here that could hurt Shanks, but he gets past it, but not past the sheriff of BabyJ. Luckily, Neptune is there for the quick trade. That's full A control now for Rise, as they will be able to get that spike down. They have main advantage, and again, they have
Wine.
firepower
Like,
on
surely
their
you
side as
expect
well.
this,
But
right?
Corey, he's gone unchecked in this corner.
Like, so
Can he
is-
be a spoiler?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, just barely whiffs. That would have been a free weapon upgrade and a headache for Rise. That
But Derek didn't even
would
take
have been
damage there.
essentially
How
bunkered
did
up
he,
onto
how
the
did he
site
get
for
one
this
shot
post plant.
there?
But now they've got multiple options to keep the spike safe versus just the sole member of Rawkus,
they see
who
him?
finds himself up top and tagged down to 25 HP. Poised, I mean, look, he has been
Yeah,
so
Tens is,
good
Tens
through
is
this
better
series.
than
You can go
BabyBay,
back to
obviously, but
Breeze,
Tens
his
is not in
defensive
this
plays
tournament.
over towards A
He's
were
already qualified.
heavily tippable, but now all of a sudden he's 7-4 from the offensive half on the
And
Killjoy
Ye
for Rise.
is better than BabyBay from Envy.
Yeah, Rise
but
having
again,
a
Envy
heck of a
already
time
qualified.
so far here on the attack. FaZe feeling that.
I think Asuna's better. Asuna is not known for his
including
upping.
an op for BabyBay. So maybe you could choose to try to
BabyBay
put him
might
in
be
a
a
forward
better
angle
upper
and
than
try to
Asuna.
get an early pick either on the
This is
periphery
why
of the map
Nitro,
or
by the way, has
maybe
gone
even
back
try
on
to
the jet
contest
for 100
Rise a bit
Thieves.
at middle.
Asuna's a Reina.
As again,
player
Rise
now.
have that nicely
Double R.
balanced playbook. They
Oh,
again,
Asuna
they're
is
very
crazy
good
on
at
Raze,
pressuring
so-
middle and market,
sorry,
but
no,
also
not
very
Raze,
good at some of
Reina.
these set
He's
pieces
kinda
on the
average
sites, just
on
loading
Raze.
up the box. They can play tit for
pro
tat with
player anyway.
FaZe as far as aggression goes with that Neptune Shanks combination if they so
Yeah.
choose. With that said, I do think
Good
that
FaZe
Shanks is
timeout.
probably going to hit the brakes a little bit now. You don't want to be dashing headfirst in the sights with this operator. I think they're going to try to use him to kind of, pivot angles on the map and try to allow them to focus elsewhere. You can see he's looking for maybe an opening pick at B lobby.
Let's pull
Meanwhile,
up the
BabyBay
FaZe
looking to maybe
stats
try to get something going on the
again.
opposing side of the map where the majority of Rise's
Ascent
forces are gathering up
defense.
here with that spike. So going to be a little bit maybe different of a pace from Rise considering the
defense.
weaponry. We're
57%
going to see,
win
I
rate
think,
on
FaZe
defense.
try to be a little bit more proactive on trying to cause an early
The-
disturbance, which I
the
think was
FaZe-
such
the
a
FaZe
hallmark of their
defense is
defense.
slightly better than the
reason why they
offense.
were able to dominate was because they were able to never let
Doesn't
Rise
look
feel
like it right
comfortable.
now.
I think they're going to try to do that now that they have weapons on their side.
See exactly what this initial play is going to be defensively from FaZe with what you would think are the right pieces to
I
get
don't even
BabyBay
know who that is,
aggressively pushed
Vincent.
forward. But like you mentioned, he's got the operator, so it's going to be a
What's
lot
up,
of
Con?
trust
How
that
you
they
doing?
do try to push BabyBay forward for
Welcome
him
back.
to hit a shot and then get out. Yep. So we'll see how this all unfolds. Star placement is down for it. There's the guiding light, and no, they're not going to go forward. They're instead just going to take back this cubby. But did the guiding light from Neptune actually scout this? It came through almost at the exact right time.
Yeah, Corey scouting B lobby there with the Trailblazer. They put 2 players in this corner on A side, so a little bit of a bait and switch potential.
Yeah,
maybe you see BabyBay, he gets his op shot, he dashes back in sight, but maybe you're not anticipating ZachaREEE will also be there. The problem is Poise has his 2 nanoswarms left, and we've seen Rise more often than not put that into play to clear out this corner. They've been very mindful of this.
They could destroy it though, right? They could destroy it.
So I don't think they're going to leave this stone on.
The problem is that gives away the Phantom uses.
That's already BabyBay having to leave.
Yeah, but again, the big question that you very aptly put into mention was the fact that Zach is going to be largely in concealment on this backside cubby. Defensively for FaZe over towards B, they're comfortable.
Yeah,
Rawkus is actually going to rotate out. He did have the Odin to try to lock down B main, but they're going to trust that BabyJ can just get the job done with the sentry turret watching the main door.
Nice
and then
try,
the alarm bot watching mid-market.
It was an interesting strategy. Unfortunately, they're not going A.
To re-aggress into lobby with his turret going down. Trying to take this forward angle, trying to disrupt this attack here. He gets a little bit of a line of double dig and a spray down for BabyJ.
Oh my goodness,
He's
he got
done
3.
the hat trick to put a huge damper on
The other
this one.
baby.
My goodness, the chess game was starting to get really well thought out, but
Rawkus has got the Odin out.
Tosses the board over end was BabyJ. Now the information for Rawkus. Corey there to help BabyBay nail into the coffin. Not all 5 members will survive, but I mean, call it what it is. That's pretty much flawless from FaZe from start to finish. A lot of it off of this triple. That
It really is ridiculously watching these pro players use the sniper. Like before you've even thought, they've fired the shot and killed them, and they just don't miss.
Big hit would put a huge stall on Rise, and BabyJ coming up nicely there. Now look at the ults they have available coming into this. Rise with an equal amount. It's going to be mental warfare and how you want to use these lockdowns for both of these teams, try to get the most out of it.
We're going to get a counter lockdown.
Essentially going to possibly cancel each other out.
Not destroy the turret.
Offensive Odin for Derek wants to make sure that Rawkus can't just sit in this corner. It looks like aggression is starting to come through for Rise. Oh, Gravity Well is so good! And Rawkus will spam it down. BabyJ once again, though, doubles up, and it's poetry. A very bloody form of it, but my goodness, that's beautiful.
Name a better trio than Sober, Ascent,
and
Odin.
All over the pages of that one. As you said, the Gravwell used to perfection against
he's dead,
the
though.
Odin there. To boot, Derek, though, gets a nice shock dart onto Rawkus, but again, they're just so far behind in this situation. BabyBay now taking mid with the operator off the catwalk, and FaZe are starting to crawl right back on the heels.
I don't have school tomorrow because
it's keeping this gap close.
28th of October, that's the day
BabyBay. That's a nice snag, but Corey immediately puts him off of it.
That would have been a huge 1v1 if Neptune had any sort of an idea that Corey was lingering, turning a 2v5 into what would be a 2v2, but now the cards paint a picture of a 1v3.
He's just watching
Derek only has 44 health. Still has a recon bolt. He's going to spend this to see if he can find information on Corey. That will be enough. Knows that he's still very much so close by. BabyJ has repositioned, though, and that's the biggest problem here for Derek, because he's got absolutely no idea where BabyJ could be. And with that, I think the call's coming through, hey, just try to save the AR.
Yeah. Well, plus the turret was there as well, so the moment he decided to come around the corner,
10 seconds left.
Rise would have known. They could even double peeked him. So yeah, just holding on to this.
FaZe do not want to lose their guns. They're not really pushing him
to play next round. They have a lot of ults still on the table. They got smashed so hard by that Gravwell Odin spam that they never really got to use any of their utilities. They still have it to boot coming into this round, but I mean, this was just so beautiful.
You know, there is beauty in death for some people. Those that I think enjoy the fall foliage would agree,
I think
but
they only
that
killed
is a
one
different
person
form.
with it, no? I don't know. Like, you can't wallbang with the other guns, can you? I don't know.
I mean, just the again, you talked about it through Breeze, but it continues to rear its head throughout moments here in Ascent, just the layering, and that time I would say maybe just the stacking of utility that come through to allow FaZe a huge advantage in the early round. Gets them now to 5-4, but at the same moment, Rise do have a chance to get themselves more fully purchased, except for Poise, who continues to be on the specter.
That's back-to-back rounds that a single Gravwell has had so much impact for FaZe to get them now one away from a tie, already a map to the good. Again, they're going for that double play in the A closet. This time, Rise a bit more spread out, a bit more focused.
The way it works is like what there's three
Also,
different
the turret to
strengths
make
of
sure
wall
there's no
banging.
mid-aggression from the
There's
FaZe
like-
side
there's
of
like
things.
low
So playing it a
strength,
lot
medium
slower
strength,
pace,
and
a lot
high
more
strength.
default. And again, that's I think a staple
And then
of
it's
Rise's
like
attacking
Fortnite,
side
right?
is
So
the
you got
ability
you
to
got
play
wood,
this
brick,
way
and steel.
and feel comfortable doing so as they
And then
clear out middle
impenetrable
with this
walls as
owl
well.
drone. Also looking for any killjoy utility along the way. Shank's able to get past, but does get discovered.
So I think you do the math, right? So if you have a low strength weapon, it can only go
Holding the
through
angle.
wood. Medium
Spike
strength
is
can
still
only go
leaning
through
toward
brick.
B. And
And high
BabyJ's
strength
position
like
would
the Odin
lead
can
you
go
to
through
believe that
steel.
FaZe would have to essentially give up a plant, hope for some
I mean,
chip damage.
steel,
and
right?
then
But
retake.
the ascent wall is
And
brick.
Yeah.
That's dangerous because
I
Shanks
don't-
is
I don't
watching
fully
this
understand
rotation
it, to
pending
be
it comes
honest.
out. Seekers is going to bait things over, but Rawkus finds one. The blades have been pulled.
30
And honestly,
seconds
for
left.
Rise, they haven't really even made a move towards B.
Oh,
so
we just got
BabyJ
timing.
stays concealed.
The timing, though.
Oh
Look at
my
Shanks
goodness.
getting in.
he's
That's a
checking-
big
he's
kill
checking
onto
that.
BabyBay. He might cancel out the
Oh,
work BabyJ has
Shanks.
done. Indeed, he has. He's got it
Superman?
back into a 2
What?
versus 2.
But the spike's
But
down.
look at this from Zach, catching the fallback, and now they have the advantage on the retake here. Shanks
The
is in trouble.
lockdown! They've got no spike! BabyJ's double playing backside of B, drops the spike carrier, he recognizes it, takes a look at the clock and says, I got a lockdown! You're not gonna come get me! That is brilliant from BabyJ, and all of it was off screen, unfortunately, but you can still admire the mind that had to be in play for BabyJ.
Yeah, because that spike goes down, it forces this to happen, which gives
Like-
Zach the freebie on the Superman and ensures that they're going to have the
I could
advantage
actually
here.
just force
Shanks
run
has to
with
work
knife out.
so
I don't
hard
know.
to get the spike back and take so much damage along the way. The turret finishes them off. So
Guys to the turret.
it's one of those situations where you had kind of dueling plays going on there, but BabyJ's is the one that has the bulk of the impact, and that's why they're ultimately going to tie this thing up at 5 apiece. And now look at the money for Rise.
I don't really
on the
understand what
majority
just
of
happened,
their
to be honest,
players.
Cotton.
That is a
I don't
round
know why the Astra was running
that the
knife
Flat
out. I
Chat
guess
boys
because
are
of the
going to
time.
feast on. That is going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
one worth breaking down
That's a
for
bad scout.
days,
It doesn't
maybe
give us
even
info.
weeks to come. But here we go. Attacking lockdown going to come through. Hunter's Fury going to be used in response. ZachaREEE finally able to use this position through Cubby. He's been there 3 rounds in a row, and he finds himself a double. Not going to get the third. Shake's able to keep the play alive, and this could amount actually to a spike plant for Supa.
It is indeed going to be, but Rawkus quickly finds a kill to get it back into a 2 versus 2. Good shock dart comes from the site. Superman gets taken down to very low HP. Forced out, but wins his fight against BabyJ, and now it's all on Rawkus.
BabyJ just choked. BabyJ just choked
Does
that
have
shot.
Supa at critical health, and Derek only has a Sheriff. But Rawkus has
Look how
no idea
deep
where Derek
Derek
is.
playing.
Gonna try to
No.
play for a bit of a timing on the rotation, nearly gets it, but now it's
Derek
just
has
down
ult,
to
I see. Yeah,
will
no,
the spray
no way, right?
actually find himself kills. Gets a look at Supa. Maybe not really a look at Supa more than there's just a spam at Supa, but there's the Hunter's Fury just trying to delay. Is there enough time here? He's gonna have to soak up one of these shots. There's it halfway.
Oh!
Derek's not gonna be close enough. Oh no, it's
Easy
happened
defuse.
again.
Oh my
Rawkus
goodness.
is gonna be able to secure another Red Bull
That's a-
clutch,
that's a
even though
choke.
Derek finds the final kill, and what
That's
is
a
happening
Rise choke.
on set?
Round before the switch.
And that always is the big fear when you're
He activated
playing
the
a
ult too
1vx
late.
situation
Too early,
with the
sorry.
Hunter's Fury, is you want to be far away enough to get the Hunter's Fury off safely, but Rawkus plays this perfectly. 2 gets burned so fast, he knows he can tank this one, and he knows that there's no
So
chance
smart.
Derek can
He's
cover
so
the
smart.
ground fast enough to get him off this defuse. That is just so well thought out from Rawkus. Again,
Well
a
played.
guy who is often underrated for how smart he is in those clutch situations. Maybe he doesn't leap off
He's
the
just calm under pressure,
page
Cotton,
with fragging
I guess.
stats, but he's able to come up big for FaZe in late round moments like that. Big win.
Those 2 rounds between the BabyJ lockdown secure and then Rawkus just soak it up. That could be a huge difference maker in this match. Last round of the half. Rise looking to get aggressive, just right onto the A side. Zach able to find one, not going to tally the second. BabyBay denied vision by the Cosmic Divide. The
Oh,
door
just
will
about
still be
broke that.
deleted, and with the plant, FaZe required for a retake.
Yeah,
That
Poise trying to
Viper.
be that late
not
flank
Viper
up
wall.
cap, but Corey is
The Astra
reading it
wall.
like a
So
book.
close.
He's got it open. He's turned to the first page, and he's wiped that chapter away. Now a main advantage in the rest of the retake.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on me. You won't fool me twice. Fought BabyJ, able to take down Shanks now from the front. BabyJ, oh my heavens! Derek once again left by his lonesome. No chance in a
Right, he didn't even
1v4
hide. He couldn't even see
situation,
the
and
spike.
FaZe put together an unbelievable back half here in the first half.
That's not even planted
Call it
for-
the second quarter, if you
for
will,
A main.
Dust. That is
Switching
immaculate
sides.
from FaZe, and with that,
Interesting.
we go into a side swap. We'll come back right at the backside of the break with round 2.
Been sitting an advert. Yeah, I think right there. FaZe were struggling to start with, but yeah, their defensive win rate is 57%. Their attacking win rate is 54%, and there's a lot of data. There's like 600 rounds on each attack and defense, right? So there's a lot of data to support FaZe's successful defense there. Well, just about successful defense. Look at this. They won the last 5 rounds in a row. They went 5-2 down, and then they just stormed back 7-5 up. I wish I could see kills halfway through. We just can't see them. BabyJ is MVP right now. Maybe on this map, but on overall BabyBay, like this dude is insane. His reaction speeds are ridiculous. His opping compared to Shanks, who's 11 and 17 on Breeze. BabyBay was 29 and 14. Con, have you been playing much Valorant or not? I know obviously we used to play, right? I don't know if you've kept playing or not. At least you understand what's going on. I know a lot of the Fortnite people don't even know what's happening. Yeah, I'll show you the bracket here. I don't know how clear you can see it on your screen. So this is literally upper quarterfinals. So this is double elimination, meaning you have to lose twice to be knocked out, unless you reach the grand final, in which case you lose once and you're gone. Unlucky. Not really, don't have much time. Fair enough. So here we've got FaZe Clan versus Rise. It's first to 2 maps. The winner goes into the upper semifinals. They'll play either Version 1 or Cloud9, almost certainly Cloud9. And then FaZe Clan will play Cloud9 for the chance to play 100 Thieves. Probably, of course, you know, FaZe Clan might suddenly lose to Rise, you know. And then we have the grand final on Halloween, over the 31st. But then if they lose, the losers, it will be like Version 1 versus Rise, probably. Then Xset versus Version 1 or Rise. And whoever loses Cloud9 versus FaZe Clan versus Genji or Luminosity. And then probably like FaZe Clan versus Xset in lower round 3. So we're assuming this is 100 Thieves versus Cloud9. And this is FaZe Clan versus Xset. And obviously 100 Thieves beat Cloud9. So this is Cloud9 versus Xset probably. Maybe Cloud9 probably beat Xset. So then this is 100 Thieves versus Cloud9 again. And then 100 Thieves beat Cloud9 twice and qualify for champions. At least that's the way I want it to go. 100 Thieves are 2 dubs away from going back to Berlin. I think it's in Berlin, right? Champions? Is it in Berlin? Yeah, it's in Berlin. You can see these are the teams qualified for Berlin. Oh, never mind, we've restarted.
Trying to hold on to this site, especially with Zach still
talk
low
about
on
it later.
HP.
Gravity Well stalling out any play from
5v4,
topside Raptors.
no health on FaZe.
All of these FaZe members are stacked, save BabyBay, who's playing deep over through arches. Corey, first one up. Nice taps, able to find one in the second.
Oh, yes, Corey.
But in the same breath, Superman keeps the play alive. 1v2 for him, now 1v1! Oh, it's BabyBay dashing away, finds him in the corner, reload comes out, and bang! Superman for 3, clutches it up, gets the defuse, and Rise find their 6th point.
I thought Corey had it for a second.
Main actors on the stage for each team on that
if you lose upper, you go lower.
Certainly having his moments at Generator to really kind of slow down the initial.
We can briefly look at it again, right? So in Valorant Champions, we have Gambit, Ascent, Fnatic, Sentinels, Envy, Team Vikings from Brazil, Cade Stars from Brazil, Vision Strikers Korea, Freezer Raccoons Japan, X10 Esports Southeast Asia, Team Secret Southeast Asia, Crew Esports Latin America, Team Liquid, Last Chance Qualifier, which is this what we're watching, Furia from South Africa, I guess, and APAC, or Asia Pacific, I don't know what that is, Australian probably, full sense.
Absolutely. And technically a 1v3 carded up.
Let me refresh this.
But look at this play from FaZe. All 5 members holding hands, skipping their way through middle. Shanks is going to read this.
If you win on low, you just follow along. Holy heck,
clean shots from Shanks. FaZe are essentially going to have to force a square peg into a round hole as they're stuck here now in the middle, and Neptune will feast on the opportunity to tally the 3rd. Zach
Just
eventually
fight.
responds,
They're just trying
but
to
the damage
overwhelm
already dealt by Rise's
5-man
defense.
walking up mid.
Oh yeah. BabyBay and
Where's he
Zach
aiming, by the
in
way?
a
Like, you can
world
see
of
it's
hurt
going
right
well
now.
above
The
the other
only
dude's
thing on
head.
their
I
side
know
is
he
that
can't see where
spike
he is.
possession. Maybe, just maybe, if they can find the
arrow-
victory
that
on
arrow
Derek,
failed.
they can maybe get the spike planted in B
Rawkus
site.
doesn't have that
But
lineup.
with this movement from
Rawkus,
poised
Derek.
up middle, the chance for victory is so
Yeah.
low. And with
They
Derek
got
having
the
this
info
Ares,
there,
I mean,
so they know they're going B, right?
Godspeed trying to get past
Big?
him.
Wait, why is the Killjoy re-clearing this? I thought he just
We'll
walked down
beat you
and
through
messed
him.
up.
Nope.
Nice lineup.
Not much to say there.
Yeah, the poise of a wet paper bag.
No, con. So if you look at this con, the key thing here is if you flow through lower to here where my mouse is, if you win this game, you go back up into the grand final. So you have to get here. You have to win this game. You have to win this game to go to Berlin, and everybody here in the lower bracket can get there. They just can't lose. If you lose in the lower bracket, you're out. It's as simple as that. So you have to reach the lower final, win the lower final, and play 100 Thieves or somebody else in the grand final. This right here, by the way, is 100 Thieves are guaranteed to go here if they lose, right? So 100 Thieves can afford to lose either the next game or the game after. No. They can afford to lose this game. They can't lose any other game. Yeah, no, the key thing to understand is you jump up from lower final to grand final if you win the lower final. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, it's weird, like, everybody gets 2 losses and they're out, right? Except whoever wins the upper final. They lose in the grand final, they're gone, you know? Unlucky, you know? Yeah, everybody else is 2 losses and you're out.
Bonus, they get all the kills, they collect all these free upgrades. And it really was a situation where FaZe got stalled out by the Killjoy utility just enough. And when they did break in, they had a player that they had blipped under balcony, but in their pursuit, they got caught up by the generator player.
And Rise have the spike.
And so they got cleaned out. And those close range tools.
By the way, I see the only Phantom here. I finally managed to buy it. It was finally in my shop.
Like this, Rise will go up 8-7. Again, a lot of free weaponry goes to their side. Everyone able to upgrade to a rifle.
10 seconds left.
And that's a bold statement from Rise to win a bonus in that fashion.
Yep.
I mean,
got 3 maps.
At a certain point, I think there are going to be analysts and critics out there that will say maybe FaZe should have maybe just taken their time a little bit more, read the room before you fully commit into what you know is going to be just a bonus round.
I didn't see the start of that. I was too busy analyzing the bracket.
At the same point, we've already categorized FaZe, and I think rightfully so, as they love to play a bit more aggressive, and they're going to test you from minute 1, not minute 10.
They just got destroyed there. They just got deleted.
It's a tough one. You know, I think it's one of those situations where FaZe's identity is just to assert themselves early in rounds. You know, go for those early fights. They are fearless in that way.
What's that specific
when it
turret
works,
placement?
it works,
I usually
man.
place it
I
on the
mean,
roof.
BabyBay can be one of the most effective entry fraggers in the region, but
Yeah.
got held off big time there, and now they have to do more with less. Just the one rifle on BabyJ.
Is she brave enough to walk out and peek?
Oh, what a catch! BabyJ, you talk about that fearlessness, just runs through the spam, finds Derek. Now Neptune needs to respond, not able to do so, as that's a weapon upgrade for BabyBay as he picks up the Fallen Odin. With that, the spike will make its way on, and the B site is all FaZe clans, all 5 members. Pardon me, it's just 4 members here. Rawkus is on the long flank.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a huge insurance policy. He can time this perfectly. Poise able to start making some headway on this retake. BabyJ holding his ground well enough to allow Rawkus to slide into position.
Enemy remaining.
Beautiful. One tap onto Shanks, no problem. Aldrone was still being held on to. Supa needs to go quickly, try to find this kill while the Aldrone's still out. Rawkus not going to allow it, and a thrifty confirmed for the first time in this series. It's FaZe who get up to tie things at 8 apiece.
And I'm going to help out the Tigers in their analyst panel. Here's your instant karma moment.
Hi.
You know, you don't need to worry about it. I took care of it for you. Go ahead and jot that thing down on the old teleprompter.
Yeah, I've experienced that once or twice, by the way. When you're wall banging
I'd be
on
fuming.
that site.
I'm going to go ahead and say that, if it were me.
When you're wall banging on that site, if they
throw.
just rush you, it catches you off guard
A
sometimes.
keyboard smash, whatever you want to call it. What a pick, though,
And
from
sometimes your
BabyJ.
silver dot doesn't even tag it.
Is there? I am going to say it. I don't think there is another Sentinel player, at least in North America, that is doing what BabyJ is trying to do right now on this role.
And you could see it's happened over time. Like, I feel like he's a guy that kind of took a second to settle in, but now he's fully embraced the playstyle that FaZe want to implement. And even as a Sentinel player, he's more than willing to go out and take those types of plays when the time is right. And that was such a big moment to do it.
Trailblazer just trying to keep things safe through B main, but all it will find is BabyJ as the rest of FaZe have completely rotated. Look at this. I mean, it's Astra Stars, it's Killjoy utility. Everything is stacked up for this play through A. Hunter's Fury also going to be added to the mix. They were able to connect for at least damage on 2, maybe actually 2 there for a moment. Poise has kept himself concealed as the Nebula has stalled FaZe from actually being able to find a point of ingress.
Definitely hit 2 of them,
Indeed,
right?
they have. At least they're able to get some heals, though, from their regrowth out of Corey, so that kind of tidies up their pools of life points for a bit. They're going to leave BabyBay behind.
BabyBay is going on going to go on a long flank here lobby if they get on site.
But there is a player waiting for this very moment.
Shakes comes empty. We talked about it.
The difference right now.
A single elimination with the operator. He's going to be flushed out and just taken down flat out.
Oh, Derek.
Derek there to find 2 more, but the time will still allow FaZe to plant.
And BabyBay could maybe cut off mid-rotations, but he could also get blindsided. That's a great timing out of Neptune. That now gives him a chance to retake. They had such a big advantage now when it comes to Manton. A tough one now for Core with only 35 health.
Not going to be able to find the angle. Super holds it.
You've got to be aggro, right? And Super just expects it.
Again, you have to, I think, go back to
Rise
very well execute their defensive plans towards A. They force FaZe to make a desperate rotation, and I think you hit it on the nose. BabyBay is, is going to be one of 2 ways. Either you are the one that's going to be able to stop the rotation, or you're going to be blindsided, and we got the latter that time around. Rise able to once again find themselves just narrowly on top, 9-8 as we go into round 18.
I think Rise going to be counting their lucky stars. They
I don't
won
think
that round
BabyBay's
after
fake was very good there.
busted
He was
the
spamming
initial defense. I mean, he got off some shots and maybe slowed them down a bit, but got no frags and eventually got taken out by Hunter's Fury. It's really Derek you have to kind of applaud. He got a double that kind of kept this team in the race, and then Neptune catching BabyBay out in middle was kind of that final wedge he needed to drive into it to still come out on top despite FaZe showing a really heavy threat in that round. And now they're back ahead around. Fully bought, though, still will be FaZe, looking to once again put that early pressure on A lobby.
Here, you should run.
Orb has also been earned. That was soaked up by Zach. Lockdown, early going to be placed. BabyBay is all the way over through B main, so how much of this is a show of force versus how much of it is an actual commitment through the lockdown? That seems to be the question. Here comes the play, though. We get our answer. Rawkus right onto the site, able to find the spike to get planted. BabyBay still lurking all the way around the backside of this play. It looks like Rise do want to try to stack this, maybe address a bit earlier than you might expect. Cosmic Divide will be spent for the effort. That's from Supa. Rawkus down low. He's going to be revealed and taken out. This flank from BabyBay is still not here yet. What a turnaround from Shanks. Able to find one. Corey, can you do more? Just gets the first trade for now, but now BabyBay is here. But whips the shot on the Poise. Now it's just down to Corey. The Cosmic Divide still provides a barrier, and with it, Rise successfully retake.
Astra Wall in play.
I cannot believe they caught BabyBay. I thought for sure he was going to have a chance to throw a spanner in the works. The initial retake, though, so strong out of Rise. Great use of Cosmic Divide. Great dash here from Shanks, completely destroying ZachaREEE, giving them the edge they needed to get a good foothold in. And then it's this moment here. Poise at just the right time turns around, catches BabyBay, and that's it for FaZe. That's a huge victory now for Rise. They're going to be up 10-8, and money again low. And the third map's potential is ever increasing.
A 2-0 here.
I think a lot of Rise fanatics would have looked at the map pool and the band saying, oh, they left Haven, we'll take that. They were so good at it in stage 3. And I think the analysts, ourselves included, were thinking, Ascent? Really? I mean, FaZe is still really good at this map, but we're starting to see why exactly they wanted to come here. And now with pistols, FaZe need to find a way to try to make this at least damaging here in round 19.
So we see BabyBay pop off
you have to talk
on the
about
previous
Rise
map.
losing 4 of their last 6 games on this map coming into this LCQ,
a bit more here.
And all those losses were pretty heavy.
The thing with people like a Sooner and Tens, they seem to just frag every single map. Yeah, as well.
A very potent team
Like
in the region, but
they
still
hardly
the
ever,
recent
as
form
soon
had
as 10, yeah, they
certainly
hardly ever have a bad
gave
map,
cause for concern, but they've been able to brush that
That's
aside.
my concern for FaZe
have a
Clan.
2-round lead, and
Hello, Peachy.
very likely a third unless FaZe can bust open with these pistols and these daggers.
Thought he was going to knife.
Boys is trying to work behind this. Nebula is between him and 3 FaZe members.
The aggro.
BabyBay now moving forward, guiding light in the mix. Boys able to find this flank for 2. BabyBay is going to have to do something incredible. Not going to be allowed. Neptune, no problem. Just kind of lurking inside the site.
Wanted to move
Last player left is
okay,
Zach.
Sheriff face.
Nice one.
Sheriff face.
Okay, hold on. Has he
Sheriff
found
face.
the rifle yet? He's trying to work for it. Knows that he could be under threat, but this is just Shanks with a pistol and an operator.
8 bullets.
So Zach may have enough
better
room
than
to
6
work, but
bullets
the
in a
problem is he
sheriff,
doesn't
I
have a lot
guess.
of time to work with no spike in hand. Just 12 seconds, and
Yeah, no.
it looks
10
like this
seconds
round will
left.
come to a pretty anticlimactic conclusion in one form or another.
Oh, we
they
got a
save
sheriff
this
face.
Phantom at least, so less money they have to spend into next round, more opportunity for utility, I suppose, or maybe even some drops if need be to get everyone onto the best weapon possible. But never mind,
he's
they're
dead.
going to catch Zach right at the tail end, so that Phantom will not make its way over. Kind of the round we expected to see. Great maneuver from Poise to kind of steer it the right direction. BabyBay never able to unleash those daggers.
Spike down.
And so
B.
now, just a
30
couple of rounds
seconds
away, is Rise from forcing that third map. Back to the bye will be FaZe, but it will not include an operator for BabyBay. But that may not be a problem. I think that allows him to
Time for a FaZe
go for those
timeout.
faster paced plays a little bit easier.
They need to
You know,
wake
let
the
him
fuck
beat
up.
an entry, let him dash in and try to create that
Put it
space.
simply.
And I mean, look what tools are available. You got Seekers, you've got Cosmic Divide, so you know that you could essentially isolate in a way that allow BabyBay to be the first one forward, and unless they just want to keep BabyJ doing that because he's been so good at it. But you know, this is a must-win round coming up for FaZe. So apt timing for this time up coming out, because you lose this one, you're back to eco, and you're probably not really holding on to much hope to find any sort of a comeback.
How are
at
you
that
doing?
point
I'm
down
doing
to
good,
12.
Peachy. I'm a little bit
So
tired.
they're
but
trying to go for some
I'm
mid
fine.
control here off the B link. They have the Astra and Spike tucked outside of A, so maybe just trying to look to Cosmic Divide Rafters position as opposed to the door and Rafters. So more of a horizontal
timeout.
play, so to speak, on it. While
You
they try to
get
come
like a
tree through
minute
the
to speak
middle.
to your coach.
Especially how they have their Astra Star set up. It seems like they want to try
I think
to path
otherwise you can't speak to your
through
coach
link
at
into
all.
mid, into catwalk, Cosmic Divide, balcony
I think both
horizontally,
sides can
and try
speak to the
smash
coach
into
though.
A
So
through split.
even though you claim the timeout, I think
be
right.
wrong.
You know,
But
it could
that's just
benefit the
how
other
their
team as well.
utility is placed. It just feels that way.
Yeah. I'll say this as well, just kind of
No,
looking
why not?
over what we
New
saw in
energy now,
Breeze.
eh?
Rise were not very good when
I
full
think you
purchased.
get one
Only won
timeout
5
per
of the 12
team per
rounds
half,
that they had
BG.
full economy at the
I don't know how it works with
They've
overtime.
been much better here. In fact, on this defensive half, they've only given away the one thrifty round so far. So it's been much more collective here from Rise. Nano Swarm through mid. BabyBay looks like he does want to try to play for this. Neptune countering with a guiding light, and both
gonna
players
target.
return to their respective corners.
Yep. And there comes the
Kinda
star.
hard with a
BabyBay's gonna
killjoy.
backpedal.
Those are
and
alarm
start
bot
putting
just
that pressure on Tree.
stopping
They
you.
still have Spike sitting at A
stopping you
lobby.
walking up.
Again, Cosmic Divide. I think
Look how
not
deep that
looking to
Killjoy.
do
The
it
Killjoy
across
is
the
like
door. They're
just
looking to do
watching
it
the spawn.
across
He's
balcony
watching
so they
top
can
mid.
get their
Got your
players through
trial.
door with the Seekers.
Okay, that tells him there's 2 on A. That's
Well,
that's
as
a
you call it, it
useful
happens.
scale.
Shanks pressured again. This time he does connect, but Zach finds
Nice
the
help from
immediate
Shanks.
response.
He's actually
So now
taking
Super,
an up shot for
the only
one.
defensive player for Rise that could contest the
Yeah,
A
the
site,
Sky
but
was-
wants
the
to
Sky was
elect to
good
wait
there.
for help, allowing chance for
else
Rawkus
did
to
they
get
got?
the spike planted. Cosmic Divide comes through. Defensive Seekers. Neptune gonna follow up behind that.
And the Killjoy.
Now numbers for Rise. Defensive lockdown also in play. That'll flush everybody from
Corey was
FaZe
close
back.
to it.
Allowing
Corey was close to
vacancy
breaking
for
it. He just
Rise
didn't-
to
he
jump
just
onto the
didn't
site,
wanna
and you
get
still
there.
see the Cosmic Divide is in play. Nebula also blocking the AR twit. Rawkus try to hold on. Pressured by Neptune, he finds one. Goes to the pistol. A little bit greedy.
he beat-
BabyJ punishes. Super on for the defuse.
Nice.
Poised able to find the kill. It's just up to Corey. Does he have an angle? Super still defusing. Corey's found 2, but it
Oh,
will
he's got
amount
the
to
defuse.
nothing. Sticking for it. That will be
Well, I
enough
think we're heading
for
for
the
map 3.
12-8 scoreline and Rise. Match point.
Yeah, and it kind of played out the way I was thinking with
Here
the
we go.
Seekers. They used the Cosmic Divide a little bit later than I thought they would, which actually allowed Ryzik an opening pick on the balcony when the A-main attack was coming in. And from that point forward, they just treated so efficiently. They had a great use of lockdown to clear off the site.
I thought for a second
and
Super
they didn't
Super
really
dropped
allow
off
that
the
flank
defuse.
to get enough done with Corey not having vision on the spike from that position. So that will put Rise at map point. A chance
Peachy, I'll
to
put
force
this
the
link in
third.
chat for you.
FaZe still able to
They're
pull
qualifying
by.
for champions.
early op battle.
It's basically
here in
like a
lobby,
Valorant World Cup.
and Derek uses it to his advantage to get a kill with the Odin.
Yeah, Derek has been
This
such
is just
a
the first
safety
round,
net
man.
for Shake. Just a little bit out of touch with this. And
Oh.
the long-range
Corey
counter
is-
It's not
it's
just good for a
Corey-
kill.
Corey as well.
He's going to tally up damage onto Corey as well.
How did BabyBay die as well? Yeah, this
5v3.
is over. This
Rise,
is
heavy favor.
GG go
The only
next.
thing that could be a problem is maybe a playthrough tree, but Supa says,
wait,
I've
what?
got that, no worries. Even pushes
Oh.
through the Nano Swarm. Supa for 2, and
Yeah,
the
GG go
last hope
next.
for FaZe
1-1.
to extend this map falls onto the shoulders
By the way,
of Corey.
every game
and
so far
as you can tell by the trailing off
has been a
feature of my
3-map
voice,
game.
I'm not all that hopeful, and I don't think many were.
GG.
Rise respond with a 13-8 of their own on Ascent. Dust, oh my goodness, now we see why Rise picked that map.
Yeah, again, I think that was a map that
Lean? Right, we got the stats available yet? Have a look. I feel like BabyBay just did not perform on that map. Let's see if the stats agree. Oh yeah, he's 10 and 18. You need your duelist to be better than 10 and 18. Same as way on Breeze. Shanks was 11 and 17. If your Jet is 10 and 18, you're in trouble. BabyJ on the other hand, 2016 on top frag, match MVP. 20 and 16 on Killjoy. But yeah, you can't. You basically can't win if your duelist doesn't frag. You make it very hard for yourself. You can't go 10 and 18. I think BabyBay just obviously Breeze is such a big map. He was going crazy with the op on Breeze. It's kind of harder to op on Ascent, I guess. I mean, Rise were just consistent. They all got kills in the teens. Like Shanks again, not great for a Jet, and both of those Jets are pretty bad. Again, his ACS was better than BabyBay's. His average damage is very similar. Like Rawkus 916, as opposed to their silver 17 and 13. Yeah, overall that's just way better. Way better from Rise. The whole team just performed there for Rise. We look at Breeze, the whole team just turned off except Neptune. And Neptune top frags on Sky, both maps by the way. Top ACS as well on their team. Yeah, BabyJ did match MVP, but you can't do much when your teammates are -8, -6, and -7. You ain't winning when 3 of your teammates can't get kills. That just isn't happening, unfortunately. So third map, Bind. Let's have a look at FaZe Clan's win rate on Bind. I think it's solid. It's their best map, yeah. And there's 60% defense, 56% attack, overall 71% win rate for FaZe Clan on Bind. And then Rise, 68%, yeah. Again, better on defense, but the numbers are just higher for. No, the numbers for FaZe are just higher than Rise's numbers, right? So you would expect FaZe to win, but you never know. Never know. Attack first. FaZe have attacked more first. We'll see. It's currently playing 5 different adverts. Playing 5 ads. What else? Is there any other stats we can look at? Let's just go back and look at what's coming up, right? So we got, again, I'm not going to watch this, right, because I need to go to sleep, but version 1 versus Cloud9. And then that'll give us, even later today, it will give us FaZe or Rise versus Cloud9 or version 1. Again, probably FaZe versus Cloud9, but, again, Rise have just proven they're not just gonna go down without a fight. They're gonna try fight. Sorry, a bit of echo there. Like version 1, I feel like we've not heard anything from them for so long. I'd be surprised if they perform, but they could surprise us. I mean, they literally went to Iceland with Sentinels, and nobody really expected that. So you never know, they could surprise us. I do think 100 Thieves, I do think this whole map is just set up for 100 Thieves though. I really do. Loading. Right, I'll go Pete. I'll be. Hopefully this doesn't keep lagging.
All right, everybody. You know what? It's going to be a long day, and we are making sure it is full of action. Welcome back to the LCQ. Rise making sure to push the distance, do those doubters dirty, making their appearance here on Ascent against FaZe Clan. My name is LaTigress. We got Mimi. We got Bach. Now, looking at how things were going down, though, Bach, for a moment's time, FaZe were maybe able to turn it around if we are isolating them on that defense.
You know, starting out the map, it seemed like, wow, this is Rise's map to win. It's actually quite incredible. But then things turned around and Rise really started to come alive, and it was all off the back of some solid teamwork, mainly over in B main. But it was BabyJ, excuse me, and of course the Astra work coming in from ZachaREEE that really set things up for them and made it very difficult. You know, FaZe was able to win then several rounds. We see this clutch here coming in from Rawkus as well after eating that first pulse, or the third pulse, excuse me, understanding that the target was way too far away. It just felt like FaZe was stealing round after round away from Rise.
Yeah, but at the same time, it felt like there was no consistency, right? Those rounds that they were winning, it was theft. It wasn't something that they could start to rely on and that they could fully build to come back around. And while they got that momentum in their favor, while they got those rounds under their belt, it's not sustainable in any way, right? It was a one-off clutch. It was 2 one-off, like 4Ks in what was really just heroics, and well, that's great. We want to see a FaZe Clan that's starting to move beyond that, that's starting to move beyond those individual plays, and we didn't really see that this map.
Even with those rounds going the way of FaZe, it felt very difficult as a viewer to completely throw yourself behind them with a winning prediction because Rise did have multiple good looks for them. I'm sure we'll talk a bit more about their earlier play on attack, but if we are looking at their defense, Mimi, they had some superb retakes that worked out in their favor.
Yeah, they really did, and I want to give a lot of credit on these retakes to Supa. His utility use, did you see it in this replay? Grab well towards Hell. He has the wall up as well. I mean, there's just so much util that's working to set his team up for success. And while it was Derek and Shanks getting the majority of the kills, you got to give Supa and as well Neptune the credit for creating this space. We talked about how this team was going to enable their star players, and that fell on Supa and Neptune, and I think they shined, especially in the second half.
I think in general, when you look at this map, it was a battle of KJ and Astra on both sides. We saw some impressive play. That's what allowed FaZe to get back into the game. It was BabyJ and it was ZachaREEE kind of working together in tandem. But then on the other side, it was Rise who was really capitalizing with the same setup between Poised and Superman, and they were the ones who were making it very difficult for FaZe to do anything with the sites after they were taking them. So FaZe was actually able to get on site. They just couldn't seem to stop the retakes that kept coming in time and time again. I'm going to say it. I tried to find a way out of it, but I said it. They just over and over again, they were able to get on those sites. They were able to stop FaZe from keeping control of that spike for too long, and they consistently were able to get that spike defused. And it didn't seem like FaZe could do anything about it, and it really, like you said, was off the back of Superman's utility.
Yeah, and I want to pull out a little bit to the macro of this Rise team overall, and they're pacing this game, which looked really good. In the past, we've seen them sometimes fall into the pitfall of taking things a little bit too quickly, rushing a bit, but as we look back into that first half of play especially, Rise took their time on the attacking side of things, and FaZe just kind of ran into them. There was a couple of these rounds where, yes, BabyBay was having his pop-off, yes, it was working, but there was also so many rounds where FaZe was taking these duels, losing out on them, and enabling Rise to win things nice and early on. I mean, there was a point where they were up pretty heavily, 5-2, before FaZe even started being able to build back in, and that was off of their excellent pacing, and Mark, that kind of continued into their defensive half as well.
Yeah, their pace control was interesting because, you know, we would expect this team to play a little bit more fast and loose, a little bit more aggressive, and we would see that at times, but then they dial it back and play slow, and the next one would be an 18-second execute onto the A site. So we did see multiple different looks coming in from Rise on the attacking side, but one thing we did see, and it was something we talked about coming into this series, was momentum. They were driven by momentum, and you could see how easily they were stopped. Once FaZe was able to put their foot down and say no, they were able to win several rounds in a row. So they were down 5-2. They ended up winning 5 rounds to close out the half 7-5. If it weren't for that big 3K in the pistol round from Superman, who's to say that that wouldn't have continued? Like, that could have been the jump start there in the second half that allowed Rise to get back into the game and then continue to do what they did in the first half, was put round after round after round in a row. And then FaZe was the ones who just couldn't seem to get back into the game.
Yeah, all the things that you have to consider from map 1 to map 2, Rise making sure to change up their tempo a bit on their selection of Ascent. But now that this is going to map number 3, it's time for a visit to Bind, Mimi.
Yeah, that it is, and this is where we kind of bring the funky comps that we've been seeing from FaZe back into the conversation, because they're one of the few North American teams that still rocks with the Breach. They bring that almost kind of Korean-style double dive plus the Breach combo, and it honestly has looked really good. You have both BabyBay and Corey just
everybody
absolutely
always
let
chooses
loose
defense
on the map.
first.
They're
I
allowed
think
to do
obviously
whatever they damn
because
well please.
nearly
and
every team has
that's
a better
all set
defensive
up
record than
off
attacking
of
record.
BabyJ. Normally, he's in the Sentinel role, but his aggression that we see on the Sentinel role, it continues over when he's playing on the Breach, and it looks really good. And I mean, previously, when we've seen this comp, a lot of teams, especially in North America, who are not used to this kind of play, can flounder against it because it's the classic Smeek. It's FaZe getting in your face and shutting down what you want to do, especially when FaZe starts out on that attacking side.
Exactly. I mean, Breeze and Ascent both having those longer lines of sight, Bind a bit more congested. How much do you feel, Bach, that this is going to change the tempo of this map in its entirety? A lot more close quarters opportunities for both of these squads.
I think you're going to be, again, looking at controllers. I think the controllers are going to be the ones that are pivotal here. I do think that this will be a map where players like BabyJ, or BabyBay, excuse me, will struggle a little bit more, and you'll also look at the Sentinels, you'll look at BabyJ, and you'll look at Poise as well to be the ones to kind of slow down the pace of play, control the way the map's going to be played. I think they'll be the ones to keep your eyes on as we get ready to jump into the agent selection. We'll see if we're actually going to see those agents come through. I am kind of curious to see, does Corey go back to playing Raze? Like, obviously, Corey's played Raze on this map a lot, but we've seen Corey play a lot of Sky today. Is there going to be a change here as we go into this third map?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I would like to see the Raze. I think Corey is really strong in the agent. Well, technically, a lot of people say he's the IGL. Kind of everyone is putting their word in on this roster, and I love that flexibility, but
there's the Sky.
Actually, right. We're getting the Sky out. So now my question is BabyBay going to stick with the Jet? I imagine he would. That means we see a Razeless comp on this, but if they're going more normal, do we keep the Breach? Because I don't know how I'd feel about Triple Initiator. I don't think so. Oh, there's
okay,
Viper.
So there's the
I really
Viper
like
thing.
this.
That's interesting. So we're going to have two
Viper
controllers
on
as
Vine
well
seems
on
to
the
be way
side
more
of
common
Rise with Astra and Viper, whereas on the other side, we'll probably have the same thing, assuming ZachaREEE locks in the Astra. Here, Derek probably going to stick with the Sova. I don't see a world where he doesn't, and that's exactly what ends up happening. So we don't have the twin duelists that we're typically used to on the side of FaZe, but we do have that on the side of Rise.
Yeah, it feels like FaZe is starting to abide by the meta a little bit more with some of the compositions we're bringing on out. We saw what the Sky can do for them in some of these previous games, and I honestly like the adaptation. You can keep a lot of those elements of having the hyper-aggressive double duelist duo, but instead, it's just BabyBay plus some Sky flashes to get him on in. It allows a lot more defensive utility, especially when you have both this double controller and a Senti coming into the mix. I'm excited with what we're going to see.
FaZe have put in a lot of work to change their look within the competitive scene, bringing in a new coach to help them do so. And we'll have to see if it's enough for them to be able to close out this final map of the series against Rise, who are looking to do the same. I hold Shift and Dust. Bring us into that action.
Oh, it's time to perk on up in your seats there, fam, because we've got ourselves an apps guaranteed banger on our hands. And the interesting statement, and I have to go back to it from Mimi's point of view, was FaZe is starting to abide. That we don't normally say ever, because FaZe does FaZe things. They don't conform to what the norm is. Now all of a sudden you see them kind of taking a note out of other teams' pages here, Dust, and it's Rise who's decided to go into the double duelist that we kind of staple FaZe's playstyle off of.
Yeah, double controller has been kind of a thing we've been seeing a lot of teams do on Bind lately. It's something that we saw a lot in Berlin and just something that we've seen in general. It's very powerful on this map. But yeah, the double duelist composition out of Rise is going to be a bit different. This is a map that sometimes Neptune would play the Raze while Shanks would take over the Sky, but instead they're going to go ahead and go double duelist here. FaZe looking for the solo duelist attack here. Again, that elevation change coming out of BabyBay, but it's been shut down.
They should not
2 for 2 though, as Corey does eventually come
not
to the
be
bench. 1v1
right
playing
now.
over through U-Haul. Poise able to win that. More challengers nearby, or are there? Poise good for a second. Zach still trying to spam through this nebula. It's essentially a fight in the dark at the moment for both sides. Zach good for at least one, but Poise was tagged down low. The next two contestants will not be in that form, and it will eventually be the double
How
up
did
coming from
FaZe
Rise
get in that
to take the
situation
final
when
2v1
they
and put
walked into
themselves
A
on the
for
board
free?
here early with the opening pistol.
Yeah, again, it's
Well,
been
they
a hot
walked down
minute
A
since
short
we've seen
for
double
free.
duelist out of Rise on this map. I think you have to go way back into May whenever you would see Shank still playing the Jet on this map. Again, he's a guy that's often conceded it to be
Like
able to
with-
play the
with
Sky to allow
Astra
Neptune
too?
the Raze to know how potent Raze can
And
be
Sky,
on
I
this
don't
map,
know.
particularly the boom bot to get hookah control, all the different things that Raze can really do.
I can
just to
see
have a
why.
lot of
I can
impact
see
on this
exactly
map
why
with
FaZe
shells
have
on
this
top of
comp.
that.
This comp is.
So to
it
see
does feel
this
insane.
move from Rise is very interesting. It's
But,
going to mean
like,
that they're going to be a lot
entering
more
sites
bursty,
on
I think, and a
vines.
lot faster pace on their attacks. For FaZe, though, yeah, it's shocking not to see Corey on the Raze. I would have loved to have seen
They
that.
have
and
double
then maybe
info
put
with
someone
Sky
else on
and
the Sky
Silver.
or keep
They have
BabyJ on the breach.
double smoke, so
But
triple
they decided to go
smoke
for
to
double
include
controller
Jet.
instead, which again is in line with the meta as Mimi was indicating. So we've seen that really all series long out of FaZe.
BabyJ just showing a little bit too much shoulder right there. Neptune able to find the first one freely through the toxic screen, spamming through the nebula, and gets rewarded with a second. Oh boy. And really before this offense could get off the ground, it's been shut down. The only attempt here now for FaZe is to try to double stack something, and it looks like that's going to be Corey and Zach trying to make their way over through bathrooms.
Yeah, you can see ZachaREEE trying to set up some stars here to see if they still can't try to find some headway into this A side. I mean, it's a round that they didn't have a lot invested and didn't have a lot of hope, I would imagine, in winning.
I'm getting some Viper ideas off
Neptune
this,
on
by
for
the way.
Ace perhaps finds
I love
a couple
watching
there with the
Pro
areas. Rawkus, though, way other side of the map with the spike, so I don't know that he'll get that chance as Derek will be the one doing the finishing touches instead. So that's 2-0
I love
up for
watching
Rise.
Pro
And yeah,
VALORANT
it's
just so I
interesting
can kind of
because
learn from
we
them.
got 2 maps out of the way. Those are now in the
Especially with
past in the
Vipers,
rearview
though.
mirror. We have both these teams coming into Bind. Now that they have exchanged against each other in Stage 3 and Challengers 2. The more recent win going the way of FaZe, but Rise getting the victory, of course, earlier on. So even
4K.
Battleground as far as head-to-head goes. And, again, both these teams are around that
They
mid-70%
bought air. Two of them bought Ares
win rate
instead of-
on this map
instead of
as well.
Spectre.
So both teams will find
I think
comfort.
'cause you can
But
wallbang.
with that comfort aside, both teams making drastic
Showers.
differences to their compositions
Yeah,
coming
that's
into
volley
this.
down, that's it.
So
almost
that
like-
is what's interesting to me. But so far, so good for Rise.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's almost like shoes on the opposite
Right,
foot.
don't
Like
lose
you're
the
almost
bonus
playing
round,
against
FaZe.
yourself in a bit of a mirror here, because this
Don't
is
do this,
the comps
FaZe.
that we would expect, but from different teams, from the opposite teams. So
Right.
yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll definitely keep that conversation going as we start to notice and see certain things. And I think also the analyst has brought up a good point. How much value is BabyBay going to find here as the solo Jet?
Yeah, I think that's
We'll
going to
kind
be
of
huge.
keep
Again,
those narratives
not having that raise on Corey, I think, really puts even more pressure on BabyBay now. You don't have that boom bot to create space into hookah or into other positions where you want to get map control. BabyBay doesn't have his tag
They're just
team
defaulting right
partner
now, really.
to be able to create those elevation changes with the satchels alongside of his dash up draft combo to get on top of things and to create these nice like little double pronged entries. Now it's going to be really more on BabyBay to do that kind of alone with Corey's support, and so that's going to change how FaZe has to play here, I think.
Well, Derek
He's trying to time a
get
wallbang.
some information, though costs him some
That's-
health on 2
that's going
players.
through too late,
just
2 walls
outside
there. I don't
B
know how
long.
much that would
Spike is
be.
making its way over this direction, and similarly so defensively, the rotation is
Derek is
coming
trying to
for
like
Rise.
timing them so hard
The
here.
first blood still yet to be determined as BabyBay does walk on in, find Derek.
that's lucky.
Late Aldrin also here for FaZe. BabyBay able to use that with a gravity well to get a little bit further deeper into the site.
Okay.
But Supa holding on through. Hookah nearly able to
Okay.
find a second, but it's BabyBay who gets the triple. Shakes diving on in with a shorty's good for one, but
the
of
shorty
course the
out.
trade quickly there to follow, and FaZe will take the 3rd round.
Yeah, they cash in on the Rise's bonus there with just kind of a slow walk
Okay, they'll
up
take
into the
that.
B side. BabyBay just going in dry, slow walking, catching Derek inside 2. Great move here from Rawkus to pick up on that position. Helps BabyBay get the kill onto Poised.
How did you wish
And
so hard
outside
on
of this one from
Viper
Superman, it was
there.
a pretty clean approach here from FaZe. Again, around that, we kind of anticipate
I love the
winning
shot
when
he
you know
killed.
that you're going to have that firepower advantage, especially when they were able to get such early space on
Alright,
that
Shanks has an
B
op.
site. But
See what
now
he can
we're
do
all
with it.
even.
Where is he? Showers?
Defensively with the full purchase for Rise. Shanks will bring it early operator, but he's been a bit amiss with it so far today.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not
Again,
been great.
exemplified here as he went for a very aggressive early hit. But to be fair, Corey did throw out a flash to
Yeah,
try to
he
make
just
life
got
very
hit by
difficult.
the
Neptune also has to back down just a touch, and it will be FaZe who commit a
Tiger.
lot, but
No.
technically
Stomp,
win the
whatever
bathrooms.
it is.
I think that's the thing about Shanks, though.
Oh,
I feel I've often noted is that
BabyJ is
he
timing
definitely
them
has
here.
a crazy high ceiling, but consistency
Oh,
on landing some of those top shots has been in struggle at times. But that's a great maneuver from Neptune off the boom pod, but he gets shut down trying to get the rocket out. Luckily, Boy's able to make a trade.
I guess.
Quick rotation through the teleporter, but Derek has pushed up B long. This could provide a very easy free look at Zach, who's taken the long scenic route to rotate to B. And now all of a sudden, even though FaZe will get themselves a plant, they find themselves in a 2v4, and they're 100% trapped on top of the site.
Yeah, now some of that's been detected by Derek's position over here at long B. Now they're being funneled back over to elbow.
They know they're not heaven. They know they're not long. They know they're not
They have a
spawn.
2-minute advantage on
Yeah,
this.
they know they're on. They know that elbow or
That's a nice frag.
elbow or sight.
Boys able to get one more. Rawkus would have to do it all.
Okay, yeah, good
And
enough.
well,
Again.
Well, you can see it has a phone.
I think when it's 4v2, they're just confident enough to trade. Like, effectively, one of them almost deliberately dies to let the other one get the kill.
From Derek to not only get in behind enemy lines and take ZachaREEE down and give them such a big advantage on the man count on the retake, but also be that constant thorn in their side, still holding on to that long B control, while simultaneously you have Hookah being taken, you had the defensive spawn rotation coming in as well. Just too many angles at once to cover. Also, just a great job.
I do love VALORANT, even though I'm dog shit at it.
After
I love it for the strategy.
Got shut down. And so Rise off to
Like
a flying
what that dude
start
just did
here
right there, you know?
defensively. Gonna go up 3-1. FaZe still buying,
Like the
but
silver outplayed.
Yeah.
BabyBay gonna have to rely on the ult and just a sheriff for ZachaREEE.
But there will still be the opportunity to play for the round in full, which for FaZe Clan you feel like there would be maybe an opportunity to take advantage of this. Bit of an Aldrone battle through B long. It does scout out BabyBay, of course, as he's tagged, but nothing else really much beyond that. It does look like FaZe will use that as an opportunity to say, okay, not really interested in giving up too much there, so we'll rotate back over towards
And
A.
again, this is where you're seeing the power of the double control. You keep this Viper Wall and A side. You still have Astra to put smokes elsewhere as need be. BabyBay trying to dash in with that. Does get taken down. Neptune and Poise out trading FaZe for now, but it's been evened out up until that
There
point.
it is.
Shanks finally hits an off shot.
Tilts the advantage now to a 3v2. Plenty of time on the clock, but it does look like FaZe are going to try to commit to this. Hunter's Fury also going to be spent defensively by Derek as he's trying to clear things out over through U-Haul, and in the same breath, Zach actually finds a double. That turns things into a 1v1.
How did you
Third
find
shot
that?
from the Hunter's Fury did connect, so health advantage here for Derek, plus a recon bolt, which will reveal exactly where Zach is positioned. He tries to bait out maybe a plant, looking for the peeker's advantage. Has some stars to play with. Drops it. Gravity well. Maybe an opportunity, but it's a shock dart down to 1 HP. Not gonna matter. Zach still re-peeks it. Finds his 4th kill. And that's a Red Bull clutch for FaZe Clan.
ZachaREEE's been so quiet.
Oh my goodness. What a chess battle that took place there. Utility exchanged so often in this fight. Zach putting the grab well
ZachaREEE's
out
gone
there,
10 and
standing
16.
his ground. The shock dart puts that down to 1, but cannot fit in that final bullet. And
It just
Zach
pulls out
winds up
4K
with
out
a
the
quad
hat right
kill
now.
and a huge victory on a low econ FaZe who had to come into that worse for wear on a couple of their players firepower-wise. And now the script is flipped. Rise must come into this with pistols and Shanks' daggers. Shanks already spotted trying to be aggressive up short A, now forced back. They're also trying to do a little bit of a double stack here inside Hookah. Rawkus will probably understand that's a huge potential now after that gets shut down.
And if he decides to use the Aldrone through Hookah, you will see a lot of information, not just that it's a double stack, but one of the players would have a shorty. Shanks maybe does enough though, finds 2. The stack over through Hookah is still here, even though trades had come through for FaZe Clan. It's a 3v3. Spike has been collected. Rawkus mid-map, good for 1, good for 2. Help from ZachaREEE in the midst. Good team shots. Corey finds the final. And with that, FaZe punished, maybe only a touch, as they tie things back up at 3.
I love that maneuver from FaZe to go up long B. You know, you're anticipating that they're, playing aggressive with low eco weapons. You already spotted Shanks' aggression up short A. You have an idea they're probably inside Hookah, so you just kind of bypass that through long with the spike, and you just kind of wait it out. You're hearing the teleport. You're just kind of holding position, playing into those rotations, and I think they managed that situation very efficiently. That's going to tie things up at 3 apiece. Shanks and BabyBay will now both have ops coming into this. Looks like they might even have a bit of a battle at long B to kick these things off.
Viper's Pit defensively going to be dropped very early, just on the bottom side of the Hookah ledge. That will encompass the majority of that kind of entryway. But
you
still
can join in
staying
my
around.
description.
It looks like Shanks is going to try to keep this same position in hand. It's a bit odd, and I sound puzzled because he's got an operator in hand. So how much value will you find with this, seeing a big green cloud of smoke blocking most of your vision?
He's here for the hookah pick. I mean, that's really what his main objective is going to be, is to try to get that pick and then kind of fade back. He can definitely still spot people over the top of that based on the angle that he has. So definitely still has a chance to be able to get that opening strike and then get into safety and then still have that Viper's Pit to really entrench the site. But FaZe, not liking what they're seeing, will make the pivot over into A side. They do have Seekers available on Corey as well as Cosmic Divide on top of the Viper wall. It's already been in place as it has been each and every round. Again, gives you that constant that makes it tough for your opponent to read you.
There's the Cosmic Divide, Guiding Light being sent through. Derek has to give up his angle just a touch. Soviet Utility did reveal at least some members nearby, but Derek just spams, finds one. Corey's able to respond, keeping things even at a 4v4, but the shock darts are finding so much value. Derek spam nearly gets punished for another elimination, but the spike going to be committed. BabyBay able to plant that down. There's more trades coming through.
That is horrible timing on the Viper.
We continue to pin stretch the kill feed. 2v2. Shanks, big opportunity,
Shanks
but
keeps
misses.
choking
12
off
seconds on
kills.
the clock. The spike was never fully planted. Rawkus has to stick this. Superman's quickly trying to rotate on the long flank, but Shanks changed up the position through
Shanks
U-Haul,
just
finds the
put the
kill,
up
now
down,
1v2,
Shanks.
and Rawkus never expected
You're
the
missing
long
with it
play
so
from
much.
Supa. Whoa, it got
At this
scary,
point,
it
he's
got
just throwing.
dicey, but
Just
Rise
don't use the up,
through the
Shanks.
chaos to find
Sometimes it's
themselves
just
still
not
an
your
early
day.
advantage 4-3 up.
Yeah, what you're seeing play out is the same thing you kind of saw in the previous round. That is Rise being really well coordinated in these retake situations. I do want to highlight, though, this U-Haul play that took place. You know what, Shanks, that's the one that kind of finishes from that position while the long-time play comes out of Superman. But also Derek, props to him. Such great use of shock darts, such great kills to keep his team in the fight from that U-Haul position. And now Rise are rewarded with a round where they will have a huge edge when it comes to weaponry. BabyBay has the Spectre, everybody else on pistols. BabyJ does have Viper's Pit. If they can get a plant, that's really all that's going for FaZe in this one. Look at this aggression already, by the way, from Rise up long B. They give them a faster rotation.
The spam shots that come through. Good for a first blood. Spike's not a part of this play, by the way. This is just FaZe full sending it forward, trying to work their way up towards the front doors of U-Haul. Supa going to get some clearance to re-aggress and see maybe if he can find a FaZe player or two that are stacked around. But Corey, okay, good pick on the Neptune. That keeps the numbers even for a small time. Super easy to follow up. Shanks finds Zach coming out of the bathrooms, and with that, it's just down to Rawkus again, 1v3, although he has collected the spike.
He has, but there's still a defender waiting for him in B side. He's going to have to win that 1v1 against Derek to have a chance to put this spike down. He is jumping through, but the Decay is taking his health down to a very low place, and Derek will dot the I's and cross the T's of this round. So that will be another one going the way of Rise. Now up 5-3, starting to get a firm defense in place here. Now worth noting that Rise, known for their defensive side on this map, near 60% win rate over the last few months. So definitely their bread and butter is getting, you know, that 6 to 7 round mark on average, but at times able to have big has, at times able to get to that, you know, 9, 10, 11 types of rounds. So they're definitely on pace.
I mean, is there any concern? I mean, we saw it there for a brief moment. BabyJ, single kill. BabyBay, double negative. Those were two of your top fraggers, not just from map 1, but 2 of your 3 top fraggers in map 2. Not finding value as of yet. We'll kind of put a pin in that conversation for now, as it looks like Rise wants to get aggressive. It's going to be met with the response of a Hunter's Fury. Not a lot being found from it, but BabyBay has already made his way onto site. He will find Shanks trying to rotate back in, and there's the Viper's Pit down. And FaZe, opportunity to get an early plant, as Rawkus still able to pick up Derek as well on this reapproach over towards the B site.
It's a tough retake now all of a sudden for Rise.
Gotta get the spike down
into the Viper's Pit though and see if they can make some headway. Poise leading that charge, but Corey sniffs him out immediately. So now it's the Superman and Neptune left. They do have the ult on Neptune, but no, that's gone now, and that's going to be the round. Rise will go up to 4 here. Yeah, maybe a bit of a service off of Superman, but I can't see him pulling all the way through. And BabyJ will
maybe 3v1, not 3v5, not 5v1.
But yeah, kind of going back to what you were saying. I mean, this is a map where FaZe have typically had a strong attack throughout this year. You know, in the games that they have played, they've played this map around 22 times this year with the core of their team. 77% win rate on the map, 61% of their victories coming on the attacking side. So to see them belittled so far in this way in this half is a little bit concerning, but I think that round does a lot to get them maybe back on track.
Fair shout. So 5-4 going into round 10. Just a couple more to play here in the first half. And yet to be determined is a winner of this opening half. I think for FaZe, just kind of coming off of a maybe arguably somewhat slow start into this map. Being able to find 5, I think, would be okay from your offensive half, especially considering the narrative you just put into play here with how good defensively Rise have been through stage 3.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, FaZe is no slouch. They're near 60% on the defensive side as well throughout the course of this year, so they can definitely get it done on both sides. I think the big thing for FaZe is they're making a more drastic change compositionally, right? I think this Corey on Sky situation, not having the raise that they're used to having on Bind, I think that is a bigger adjustment they're having to make compared to Rise.
Here we go. Early aggression coming through from FaZe after they were able to regrowth back the health loss from the Hunter's Fury, but it's responded by Neptune's Showstopper. That's good for first blood. No trade to happen. And FaZe with 50 seconds are going to rotate this spike all the way back through middle. You see the star placement coming through over towards B connector, over towards the spawn itself. It means that Supa will be isolated by himself. Finding one kill would be okay.
I love this maneuver he made into Octagon. It guarantees him a 1 versus 1. He catches Rawkus completely off guard, and now everything has to come to a halt. Cosmic Divide down as well, blocking the entrance onto the site. It forces FaZe to once again have to make a big pivot, and they're having to do so far behind already.
That's massive.
Yes.
I mean, really, you look at the fact that Supa was completely isolated. Finding just a single kill was good, and like you mentioned, he puts himself in a prime position to make sure what he gets is just a 1v1. Brilliant.
Left.
So Rise will see this round be won due to clock, as Corey and BabyBay will try to hold on to these weapons desperately so. All the way back into spawn, and it looks like they should be okay. Maybe not. Corey will fall. BabyBay is able to tally 1, but it's really negligent as now it's just into round 11 with Rise still up 6-4.
Yeah, we're just not seeing those 2 stars really quite pop off yet for FaZe that we're used to. I mean, think back to map 1 where BabyBay was kind of near that 30 kill marker, absolutely dominating on the Jet. This map had a lot of a tougher time getting going, and again, Corey, I think, is not able to have that same mobility he's used to having with their race to kind of help be that entry force for the team. It kind of changes up their style a bit, changes up what they're capable of, and they're having a little bit of struggle getting off the starting blocks here on the attacking side.
Yeah. And if they fall short in this round, where ZachaREEE only has a Sheriff, you question what kind of economy will they be able to tally together for the final round of the half.
Right.
Viper's Pit down again, same position early. Shanks does not have the operator, though. This time it's just a rifle, and he's playing with elevation. Able to find one, or is he? BabyJ is actually able to win the gunfight. Looked like it was going to be a free look for Shanks, but it's first blood tallied up for FaZe as the regrowth will allow BabyJ to get back.
I think that last second updraft after the dash is what got him. It kept him in vision.
So
and allowed him to
BabyBay
be taken out instead of being on the dash behind cover of the truck. So maybe a bit of a slip up on his maneuver there, and that's going to allow FaZe a chance to crack open this A site. They're getting some great space. Everyone's still very healthy here with this man advantage. Still have plenty of time to work things out as they keep moving forward.
There we go. He's not going to miss that one. He's not going to miss twice.
A bold wide peek from Neptune punished. Zach will finally be able to turn this Sheriff into a rifle as he takes down Poised. Or so you would figure, but he's
Derek is on the B side.
So now 2v5 situation. Derek and Supa going to try to do what they can as Supa's going to be playing into the connector. Star will be placed literally on top of him. That's a Nebula that will at least conceal some of this, but it does look like Rise will concede this round and see if they can just hold on to
literally nobody as well.
Yeah, maybe get some exits. You know that FaZe's economy is not the best. You can force some, rebuying. It might
BabyJ's watching the
make it a little bit
flank
tougher to get full weaponry as well as
but he was watching it anyway. He's not to know that.
As far as the round, yeah, it's definitely FaZe's. And it's a big round to win flawlessly because we were talking about where their economy was at. So you're allowed to get ZachaREEE a free Phantom. You avoid having to repurchase weapons, and it keeps you on a full buy for the final round of the half and a chance to tie the game up.
Tallying the ultimates coming into this next round, Zach is going to be one away from a Cosmic Divide.
Last round,
and you kind of have to wonder, will that mean that FaZe are going to maybe try to play a bit more aggressive with your bathrooms as we look back over this entry for FaZe? Actually, this is kind of later on into the round. A bit puzzling, I think, just to see Neptune kind of take such a wide peak like that, having no help really whatsoever to try to get the trade.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a head scratcher, a little bit unorthodox to what we had been seeing. As we are into the final round,
they're putting that wall out, which kind of
Shanks, but still full.
I don't know why did they put it diagonally? I don't know.
Meanwhile, again, FaZe fully decked out.
The Viper's wall kind of confuses me. Like
once again looking for
Rise
something
Viper
early towards this B side.
They're just smarter than me, I guess.
Same placement of the Viper wall on a site. Very common that we've been seeing on Bond. And again, I like that it kind of just gives you a constant to play off of that makes you hard to read. You can always use that to throw feints, or if you actually want to take control of A or isolate U-Haul without it being able to get support from window, you can do that. So it just provides that, plus you still have that second controller to put smokes down elsewhere when you need to execute. I think that's why you've seen a lot of teams go the way of double controller on Bind. It's for that very reason. It's the same thing that you can kind of do on Split with double controller. So definitely both teams playing into that here. Very close game as FaZe call a timeout. Chance to tie things up here.
And Rise will actually have a lot of, I think, enjoyment off this timeout as well, because they have to consider a number of different things as well. As you see the star placement finally starting to come out, that'll at least give us an idea as far as which, you know, both teams want to kind of do off the rip. Because for Rise, it looks like they are starting to understand, like, hey, we do want this bathroom control, double stars, plus you have the Raze as a part of the conversation defensively to try to work your way in, maybe even deny this ultimate orb.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a whole lot of bathroom skirmishes throughout.
Not really, no.
To be honest with you, it's been a lot more focused on either up long B or through the short A position.
Oh, green screen. Oh, nope. Okay.
This time Rise is looking to get in here.
What is Twitch chat saying?
Aggressive. This is just a bulldog.
What is he
what
doing?
A bold play from Rise.
But map control taken. Look at this. They have control of short A in a big way. They basically have FaZe funneled, but that's a big kill from BabyJ.
Yeah.
That's going to break
That's
the
kind of crazy from Rise. It's kind of crazy.
Threaten it now. The problem is even with that kill, Neptune still has such a powerful position that they can kind of keep their B defense in place. The problem is, though, now they can't really get that rotation off of Poise. He has to kind of stick around. That's still going to make B a little bit more vulnerable and make the rotation a bit longer.
You have to find a good trade here if you're Rise defensively over towards B. FaZe are ready to
It was kind of crazy. I respect the craziness of it. You do have
comes down
like
to
I do crazy shit in ranked sometimes in the gold ranks, and it works sometimes. But
he's in the octagon at the moment.
like I played earlier today, I literally ran into the A site on freeze with my knife out and got a kill.
FaZe offense.
I didn't knife him, but like, just to get in sight faster.
Now, though, I like this re-aggression from BabyJ up short A. Now that he knows that enough time has passed, he can kind of break open and alleviate that pressure. Toxic Divide on the defensive back hauls. They don't have to commit to this either. They still have Spike tucked in a way. They can still get into A site, and with BabyJ getting control of U-Haul position, it sets up for a flame potential or a pivot back to A, whatever they choose.
Right
down. Quick though.
The clock needs to happen. 10 seconds. The trades are good for the side of Rise's defense. They go 4 for 2.
BabyJ is nowhere near the spike.
Oh man,
7-5.
I think you hit the nail on the head there for a moment, Dust. You had BabyJ in such a good spot, but maybe it just took a little bit too long to figure out what you wanted to do with it. So
couldn't care less.
Rise will tally up the first half.
I do not know how Rise won that, but they did.
They'll swap the sides. We've got a map 3 here, friends. We'll be back with the conclusion of this.
Are we going to get overtime? I feel like overtime is incoming right now.
Fellas with facial hair, listen up. Whether you're a weekender, a tidy-up trimmer, or if you prefer things short and sweet, we're giving you the tools to brush up that beard and sort that stubble in an instant, so you can face the day feeling that little.
Hang on, let me mute these adverts. We don't want to watch Twitch adverts. Let's just stare at the bracket until the adverts are finished. We don't want Twitch adverts. This is YouTube. What was I going to look at? I don't know. I think I might have a banger YouTube short to post tomorrow. Got some crazy info about YouTube's earnings. Is generally mad. Crazy. All right. We'll be back. There we go. We're back.
Our first attempt. We've provided you one heck of a game. Well, I say we. I've got no hand in it. These two teams have provided us one heck of a game. And Dust, let's talk about Rise here because they put together another very solid
every single game has gone to 3 maps.
Yeah,
so
they pulled out a double duelist.
It's only been 4 matches.
And it worked out really well for them that half. I have to say that.
Every
I'm
single
curious to see how
game
it affects the tempo of their attacking side.
every
Again,
single
Rise
match,
usually a really
2-1.
well-rounded team as far as what
It's
type of
1-2.
pace they like to bring to the table. You know, they can easily play the map control style, just trying to get hookah, try to get
It wouldn't
octagon.
surprise me if version 1
try
and
to get
Cloud9 go
bathrooms,
2-1
keep that
and
presence at short and
FaZe
just
and
kind
Rise
of
versus
mid-round
version
from
1 and
that point.
Cloud9
But
goes 2-1 as well.
this, you know, Shanks Raze combination
I feel like there's weaknesses in
will allow
all
you
these
to
teams. That's why they're in last
do
chance.
those, you know, jet dashes with
As
the
opposed
satchels
to
of
Sentinels
Raze and
and
just have
Envy, who
that
just look
really
insane.
fast-paced 1-2 punch that can change elevation and can just gain ground very
Tens and
quickly
Yay
and allow you to
Shazam
play
and
more explosively. So
whoever the heck
that's
else
what
is
I
on
kind of
Envy.
want to keep an eye on going forward in this half.
Take flight.
See how things unfold as the
do they
early
know the
pistol
Jets
plays
there, or
are
they do
seeing
now?
some, well, very unfriendly games of tag going on outside B long. Both players and
They have a
squads
heal?
will kind of back
No, they
up
don't have
with
a
that.
healer,
Derek
so
was
no.
getting the brute force of that
They-
engagement down to
like,
15
this
health.
is the
and
problem
no
with the
Sky,
Rise
no
comp.
regrowth.
They-
50
they-
seconds
like,
need to make a play now.
Neptune should be playing
Yeah, that's
Sky,
always
really.
tough to not have that.
Or Shank should be playing Sky.
Yeah, it's one of those
and then
maps where they
Neptune playing
typically would have
Jet.
Shanks play the Sky while Neptune was on the Raze, but they've elected to put Shanks on the Jet here, so that's going to change up.
Call me
things
a
little bit.
commentator,
Try
chat.
to
Call me
put
a
that pressure
commentator.
on short A with
just
a
get
lot
me
of
on the
different
Jet.
methods. It's not a commitment of the spike. They're still kind of sticking that into hookah, and they're doing their job as far as fakes go. They're definitely causing a big rotation right now, and they do take BabyJ down on B sides of the spike. Will indeed be able to go down. They're also able to pivot everyone else into safety inside hookah position, so they will have a 4-on-4 post plan here.
Derek's super low as well.
Maybe the big influence maker might just be what happens
FaZe-
in this
FaZe have
1v1
an
between
HP
Shanks and
advantage
Corey,
here.
but also keep in mind Rawkus is long
And
defending
it's Corey
through
with the
mid
flash
spice
as well.
market, so
This might
there
not be
could
good
be
for
a
Shanks
battle of
here.
Sovas on the
might be
back side
about
of
to
that
get
play
flashed.
through mid dirt. Derek at
Oh.
15 HP would
No,
need
he's
some timing
protecting
here.
it. Oh my
Misses the
goodness.
first shot, but gets the
Go.
second. Now over to the other
Rawkus
1v1.
choke.
Shanks will win
green
that
screen.
one as well. Rise looking good for the pistol. Defensively, FaZe are making their way onto the site.
Is
but
the
it's not with
commentator
numbers
watching
or
something
much
else?
show
How
of
does he
force.
know Shanks
Zach,
won that?
the last one left. 1v4. He's made himself now
Yeah.
known. Switches over to a ghost. Time is also a bit of a problem,
Yeah.
and Shanks will come
Just
and
hop-
tally
just
up
hop
his
around
third
when
kill with
it's
the
like
pistol.
4v1.
Rise
Make
now
it
up
awkward.
comfortably by 3.
The one.
Yeah, and again, Rise just showing you how deep they can
gotta
be
see what Twitch chat is
tactically.
saying
Again,
after
one of
that.
the strong suits of this Rise team is the fact that they have good
NA
team
production.
play, and they're lots of utility behind it. Definitely forces
chat's
respect
so
out of
funny
FaZe
sometimes.
to rotate and try to
They're a bit
reinforce a
primitive
side,
other times, though.
leaving just a solo man to defend B, and he was taken care of very clean. And that allows FaZe to get that 4-on-4, or excuse me, Rise to get that 4-on-4 post plant and just feel really confident.
A lot of quiet now unfolding.
BabyBay
BabyBay
with
still
the
holding
Marshall.
this angle by himself through bathrooms. There are 2 stars offensively
green
just
screen
to
again.
his right.
We
so
saw,
he's going to safely dashes in question.
I saw when
but
FaZe
that's
played
only
100
if
Thieves, they played a
there
run
is
where they
even
had
a
5
point of contact.
markers.
Rise
I've never
are
seen them
happy
do that
to
again. I think
play
it's
a little
pretty
bit
dope.
faster
Man.
when
I think they
Neptune
realized
kind of
it's
gets to
dope.
work with Shanks over through hookah.
Yeah, they're using their utility really well to make sure that no one's playing those close corners inside hookah, which can often happen in
Go ahead
equal-sized
there.
rounds, if we're honest. So they're just kind of minding their P's and Q's to ensure that they can put that
Right,
pressure
so they
there.
know Shanks has the
you know,
a Phantom, right? But
kinda
they expect that.
stress-free,
They
and they will
fully
back
expect
off and
that.
start gathering
Shanks is
back
full
up
brought
behind
a
that
Phantom
Viper
as well,
wall
by the
over
way. He's
towards
got
A
max
side.
shield.
Try to put a little bit of pressure now on
Well, he
U-Haul
did until he
position.
got hit by his
BabyJ
teammate's
and
grenade.
Zach are indeed holding that ground, but Neptune and Co are getting some great space off the back of their utility to
He's
get
not-
disrupt Neptune.
Like,
get
he
that
didn't even clear the
elevation
corner. He
change
didn't
here
clear the
up
corner.
top.
He just
Able to take down BabyJ with help
on
from
his
his
teammates.
BabyJ only able to find
That's
one. There was a good
3v3.
look at a second. Zach
Shanks
looks
is
like
dead
he's
as well.
follow up
There's
on
a-
that.
there's
So
a Phantom
3v3
down.
we go. Spike going to be
Spike
planted.
planted.
Derek still lingering in through bathrooms. Actually connects onto the head
Oh,
of Zach.
ZachaREEE.
Doesn't confirm the kill, but brings him down to absolutely critical HP and then spamming to the nebula.
There's still
That's
a
gonna be
Phantom
good
down.
for Corey.
Yeah.
No chance whatsoever. Zach
they'll
will
recover
find
the
one more
Phantom now.
straightaway kill at the end, but it's a negligible one as Rise still very much so
FaZe
get
Clan.
what they came for. Find the plant, keep 2 alive, and
FaZe
go
Clan in
9-5.
trouble.
Yeah, this is really down to the wire right now as far as just score on the scoreboard, as far as
Yeah,
the
that-
frag count
dude,
for the
that's
players.
clear.
You're seeing
I'm getting slightly
some
carried away.
nice
That is
back and forth
expected.
match.
That
Obviously,
is
Rise
that
having
is a
an edge
save round
economically
for
coming
FaZe
into this
Clan.
round off the back of the pistol victory.
But
Again,
this round
really
is
good
big.
hookah
Do not want to
pressure
go 10-5 down.
You know, force players to still mine B,
Right
but
there.
then really use their utility
This
as
is a
well
big
to
one.
you know, cordon off U-Haul, isolate the player on A site. and just kind of flex their firepower advantage. And now they're up 9-5. FaZe needs to win this round, in my opinion. They need to hold Rise off from building up the double digits and creating such a big gap on the scoreboard this early on map 3.
The thing is, Rise are very comfortable with their purchase. They're not just sitting on a quote-unquote bonus here. They have got rifles to play with.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Alpha doesn't really slot
one.
enough.
Yeah.
Didn't really get that much intel. It kind of just looks like a default.
3 rifles. And Ares
The only
spamming.
good thing for FaZe is that they're at least able to put a little bit of presence on Octagon, but they still don't really have a read on Hookah at all.
Spectre.
And they're also forced to play way back on A site. So they're kind of having to gamble a little bit defensively. And so Rise, in my opinion, is gaining a lot of good map control and information denial.
Plenty of room.
But the clock is starting to become more and more a factor here. Spike is still left over through what would assume to be an A main pit. Paint
That's a
shells,
nice-
Gravity
that's a
well
nice
trying to look for a free
grenade
kill on any
combo.
defenders through Hookah, but none were there. And now the spike will be grabbed, and it looks like, yes, now they're going to follow up behind Supa.
Another fake on B, but the difference is they've also been able to get U-Haul control and
30
bathroom
seconds
control
left.
at the
No,
exact
and
same
I think
timing. It's really
FaZe realized
forcing
that
the
they
defense to
might
kinda
be
just
there in
frozen.
there,
They
right?
can't really rotate. It's still just too
Based
good
on
vision
how the
here.
Astra's playing,
Rawkus
or
stuck
maybe
in the
not.
corner. Does get a big catch onto Neptune, but Superman comes and cleans up the
not
line.
expecting that. That's a Spectre as well.
FaZe maybe giving up a little bit too much there as
How
Rise,
are they
like
not
you
expecting
mentioned,
that?
take away so much
Yeah, I think
ground.
just
Maybe
put the
FaZe were just
pressure at the
thinking they wouldn't
moment.
just walk up through both at the same time and they could just team shot with the
BabyBay.
2 defending members that were there. But regardless of the thought process, we're left with a retake scenario and a 3v4 for FaZe to try to do it.
2 in
Supa's
showers?
still over through U-Haul. Just a Spectre in hand, but it definitely would be the weapon for the job. Guiding Light doesn't really see too much. Corey still has to try to clear. BabyBay needs to also make safe bathrooms. Not able to clean those up.
Yeah, they're
Supa
leaving,
trying
they're
to
running,
look for
they're
something
out.
else, but it looks like this will just be FaZe
They've
saying,
been
all right,
bonus
fine,
rounded.
we bend. But
At
like
5.
you had mentioned, that felt like a must-win round for FaZe, and they never really
It
got it a true go.
did.
No, not at all. Now BabyJ not allowed to save the weapon
Not save-
either,
not
making
save
matters
that. Oh,
worse.
wow,
Same
5
fate
all
for
down.
Corey.
That
Gonna put
is
a little bit more
tough
pressure
for
on them to
FaZe.
get a buy coming into this. And again, this is just a masterclass from Rise on map control and info denial.
Yeah,
You know,
it
again, they
is.
throw a
How are
great
FaZe
feint
not
onto
expecting
Hookah.
that?
They use that to slide Superman
Like,
into
if you don't
U-Haul
watch
position.
shots, of course they're gonna
Already
walk
from the
into
jump, you saw a bit of a
lamps.
gamble stack from FaZe over towards Octagon, which they had to play more passively on A site, which again just gives Rise so much room to work with on being able to poke and prod those rotations, you know, to be able to lodge themselves in safe positions and feel confident taking control. And now FaZe have to go onto pistols, and if this doesn't
I mean, time
work
out, but,
somehow,
like,
which is unlikely, they're basically going to get one
Is
more
time
crack
out
at
too
this,
little,
and
too
that's the
late?
next buy round, which is coming up in round 17. And without that,
Yeah,
pretty much
yeah.
GG.
Wow. I think there is a general sense of the community that is largely stunned by what we're kind of seeing. And I don't mean to make it sound like Rise was a super huge underdog, but I would be very keen to agree and concur with what the desk had said setting up this match when we saw the initial picks and bans. Just, again, going off of stage 3, this was a map set that you would have felt that FaZe were more confident or comfortable and confident in.
Yeah, I think for Breeze that was the case. I think the other two were a coin flip, in my opinion, coming into this, just based on what we saw in Challengers 2 and Stage 3, how they exchanged series against one another, to kind of seeing the come up of Rise throughout Stage 3, and obviously a team that had their struggles prior to that, right? I don't think they think they qualified for like any Challengers events until they got to Stage 3. But you could say the same thing about FaZe. Yeah, they did fantastic in Stage 1, second to Sentinels in that Masters event, but they also had their struggles in Stage 2, unable to qualify for either of those Challengers events, and then you come into this stage and they missed out on Challengers 1. You know, finally got their acts together for Challengers 2 and did ultimately beat Rise when it mattered to make sure they had the circuit points they needed to get to this LCQ in that lower bracket. But yeah, to me, these two teams came in on pretty equal footing, but Rise has definitely taken a step ahead here on map 3 as they're up 5 rounds, and very likely a 6th going to be coming across here as FaZe has little to do in this round.
Poison orb emitting.
Still a lot of respect being given here as Rise are not
BabyBay is on top of the
going to be
box.
kind of taking that aggressive approach, at least not as of yet. Want to make sure that
Unfortunately,
everything's
they're going
placed
through showers.
correctly. Use the utility. Maybe the advantage this double duelist will give you. Rawkus in the corner. Here's Shank's move.
Oh,
Finds
nice
the
shot.
one-tap boom bot, taking him down to just 19
Boy,
HP.
4
and then all the
HP. How does that
blast
not
tag.
kill him?
Nearly
Like,
gets
I
the
feel
job
like
done
Blast
without
Pipe should
Neptune
hit
having
what
to
should
peek.
honestly
The
do
first
more
kill not bad.
damage.
The second one from
Very
BabyBay
nice.
even better. Corey's still up here,
A.
and Zach will also get the
Player
next.
standing.
Everyone kind of
Okay,
sharing
based on
kills
him
here
woke
for
up.
FaZe, and it's now just down to Derek. He's going to have to 1v3 this in a position to still
He's got the gun
give us a
advantage
go.
here.
Gets the first, does it cleanly, but BabyJ from behind secures the thrifty. So it's not the characteristic way that we would have wanted to see the must-win round come through, but still 6 on the board here for FaZe regardless.
It's gotta be a tough pill to swallow if you're Rise. Like, this is your moment, right? This is your moment to really just leap out in front, but somehow Rawkus tanks that, stays alive for so long, gets his kill on the way out the door. And then BabyBay and Core able to build off the back of that with just such a swift maneuver. Just get those pistols in
fragging with the Sheriff.
Fragging with Sheriff. That's such a big round to lose if you're Rise. Luckily, they still have a little bit of cushion with the 4-round lead. But now, look at this. They have to go with lower firepower.
Man, how the tables have turned. Second time that we've seen that happen. BabyBay. Aggressive peek through mid-dirt. Finds Neptune flushed out. That's good for a very clean first blood. There are still a lot of tools on the table here, though, for Rise. Still Viper's Pit and the Cosmic Divide. And honestly, if Derek can maybe find a kill or two, there could be the potential of him locking down a plant with this Hunter's Fury, see if he can earn it.
Yeah, I like this move, though, at least from Rise. Yeah, they lose a player early, but they're able to get some ball control here off the back of their Viper utility.
Now this time, Rawkus is looking at
They can just find a pick. Get a 4-on-4 post plant, maybe pick up a weapon for Shanks.
What has Rawkus got?
There's still some chances for him to get back into this round here. Rawkus is in a spot that is kind of tough to get out of, right? I mean, it's kind of one and done. Now he's been blitzed. Able to at least stay alive right now. Viper's Pit comes down. Spike will get planted, or will it? Zach, great denial on the Shanks.
And nobody from Rise had even put any consideration over through bathroom, and that at least foils the initial spike plant attempt. This Cosmic Divide will start to falter and dissipate quickly. BabyBay still with blades in hand.
It is quite difficult with the Viper sometimes.
But the integrity of that is not the question. It's about what's happening over towards B, because the rotation is already here.
They're on B.
Again, another fake, this time probably not by design. More needed to be improvised, but they do get away. They get the spike down. They are still a man down on holding off this retake. That is the one thing. It's going to take a while now for Superman to get into position. So this is tough.
They've got full rifles.
The Guiding Light allows BabyBay to get forward and do it quickly. The second one goes through just to see if anyone's holding the front side of Hookah. Spam shots to follow. Derek in the back. 1 kill away from Hunter's Fury. Poise finds the first. BabyJ steps off the defuse. Now to a 3v3.
Oh, Viper's got
Super still has one more snake fight to use. There it goes. Zach going to try to hold on to this, but the snake fight does get the finishing.
Beautiful.
Nothing there off the blades and Rise. Improvisation key.
It's great
teamwork. My goodness. Do they add that nicely for an 11th round?
Yeah, again, that's what's so great about Rise is their ability.
They had sharp darts, they had Viper mollies, they had teammates marking the spike, they had wall binds.
Maybe their initial game plan at A didn't pan out, but they're able to slide Superman into Hookah position while maintaining presence elsewhere over towards elbow, and it allows them to, even though a man behind, play out a really solid post plant and still get the victory. And that's a big shot right back across the bow of FaZe. Yeah, maybe
they had solid aim as well, by the way.
Right back swinging. We're not going to let you get any momentum. And now they're just still a couple away from serious point here at the end of the day for Rise.
Beautiful.
Just a little fun fact here. In the last 2 maps, in the second halves of each of them, Rise has only given up round to Thrifty so far. Everything else has been very clean, which is absolutely impressive.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with you.
Sometimes Thrifty's going to be awkward because the other team is playing so unorthodox.
Also still keeping Superman, putting that pressure on U-Haul.
Again, so FaZe is just giving them like a shot every time if they want
play it again.
Oh, big pick. Corey trying to play the top side of the Viper's Pit. It's Shanks who gets the better of him, and now the attack is on the way. The spike is here.
Walked into a
paint shells. Actually find BabyJ lurking, and Shanks, he's going to find one more through the defensive spawn. That's Rawkus now down and out. Spike planted, 5v2.
FaZe are going out here.
Oh boy.
They need a 100 Thief style comeback here.
Again, just such great strategy from Rise. They're allowing themselves to keep pressure on short A with Superman's utility,
going to the lower bracket,
taking control of Hookah. They're
also
looking
so good for FaZe. They were one map up, 3-0 up, I think.
And then even though there's a Viper's Pit in play on the site, they're able to kind of play around it, get their pick, dash over it, and then put a world of hurt on the remaining defenders with the Hunter's Fury, and just with the positioning, Shanks is able to get with his dash over the top of 2, but even in the defensive spawn to cut off the rotation before it can even really start. And that's just so oppressive from Rise. That's what this double duelist comp allows them to do, is just take that space quickly and allow them to make these spacing changes throughout the half.
Well, it's last chance saloon here for FaZe.
What have FaZe got?
4 Spectres.
4 Spectres and a Vandal.
That's going to be mostly what we're looking at. Seekers and a Hunter's Fury could be a part of this as well, and you feel like it definitely, in some form, will be.
Yeah, they need to rely on this Hunter's Fury. You can, if you look at
to
Silver,
make sure nothing is threatening Hookah, but
he's
this
right
will
at
be
the
one of
back,
the first times
so
we've seen any point of conflict, largely with this amount of numbers through showers, pending, of course, the Rise continue on their move here on the outside of the map.
They got one lurking B that is going to push A with the rest of them.
First time we've seen this much heavy presence, and BabyJ gets eradicated. Zach trying to trade, but Shanks evades.
Look at the one-way he's setting up as well,
there.
just in case the push comes further out.
Seeing Rawkus trying to use Hunter's Fury to try to maybe silence any type of short A pressure, as well as the Seekers coming through at the same time. But Rawkus
so desperate.
They're kind of holding back. They're anticipating this, and they're crushing the aggression from FaZe.
Okay.
But Zach, trigger discipline. Makes safe the showstopper, finds a second behind it, and Corey and Rawkus will tally the 4
2v1
kills kind of together. So it's now just down to poise 1v2 situation, no spike in under 30 seconds. It looked so good for Rise. But the trigger discipline from Zach, unbelievable.
He knows where he is now.
Yeah, what a shocker. Poise has a
time
chance
here.
at
This guy's having
running out of time, and he doesn't have spike position. It's his main problem.
Save.
And now he's just going to back off and save.
10 seconds.
And
okay,
I'm shocked.
Okay, I thought FaZe
Rise
was
did such a
screwed
great
there
job
when they
in
lost the opening
pick and
kill.
bathrooms. They avoided getting traded. They caught the flank through the portal as well. So I think for a brief moment,
come back
they
on.
were up maybe 5-3 in the encounter.
Yeah, they were.
Score on 3.
Let's be real though, they have to win 6 rounds in a row. They've won 1 out of 6.
Rapidly is impressive, but
can't lose a single round.
I mean, Rise still just have so much cushion. It's going to take a lot more.
How has Rawkus got less ATS with 8 assists and 13 kills compared to BabyBay with 10 kills and 5 assists?
Good step in the right direction.
BabyBay must have more multi-kills.
And with a couple of weapons being upgraded off of this, what was tallied off the ground for FaZe with the last remaining members, the firepower is not ideal.
The problem is
still,
the Rise money.
Closer.
The Rise money is
a long way to go, though.
Right,
that much is for sure. And the only small misstep that we've seen really so far from Rise outside of the thrifty round that came through a couple rounds previous.
Yeah, very accurate summary of what
you are not pushing out here, Astra.
Rise will sit up 5.
Stay back, Astra.
Again, no one getting eliminated here. This is the opening matchup for both of these teams in this upper bracket. Loser will get knocked down, however, and that's going to be a tougher path with only 1 spot available for champs.
Yeah.
Of course, 100 Thieves already winning in the upper bracket final, so they're already a few steps closer. Definitely one of the favorites to do so. Knocking down Xset, which is one of the other big favorites, I feel like, in this tournament. So that was a big win for 100 Thieves and the upper bracket series.
Nice.
Big pick there from BabyBay onto Superman. Nice headshot.
It's 1 HP.
Upper
No, that's
edge here early in this
25
round.
HP. They do have a Sky who can heal though, so you can get back up to 100.
Around B to stop this play from Hookah.
Yeah, he's literally running back to the Sky again. Heal, by the way.
Scout out that, hey,
look
there's
him
no one
look
on
him in
site.
there on the
But
map
the spike
here.
again is not a part
He's
of this
running all the way for a heal.
Spike is still making its way through a short, so ZachaREEE, could you be clutch once again here? Gravity Well comes through, sees the information, backs down. That's enough, hopefully, to get some defensive numbers to rotate, but it's just Rawkus holding with him. The two have combined now for another elimination. It's Shanks who falls. Boy's still making a play through U-Haul. He'll find one and do it cleanly. 20 seconds on the clock. Have to make a move for a plant.
That's a
the
brain.
boys want to place down stars. First, Rawkus coming around the corner, but made safe as Derek will watch his back quite literally. BabyJ up top, though, finds the kill. 10 seconds. Boy steps off from the plant. He's going to try to play for the kill, and will find it just enough time to get the spike down, and it's BabyBay for a 1v2.
And Neptune had held BabyBay down for so long at B side all along the way, and so unfortunately BabyBay here too slow to stop from that plant from happening.
Oh yeah, he's get the
and now he has to
well.
try to go for a 1v2 clutch here. Cosmic Divide will block his way in.
I'm just stuck on the spike.
Updraft,
not gonna stuck on the spike.
Gets himself into a corner. Is he enough underneath heaven to maybe avoid the gaze of Poise who's up top? Cloudburst, BabyBay gonna go for this, but the Gravity Well will pull him
another
off.
one, another one
for Rise. Neptune, maybe the first one to try to challenge, but they're going to wait for the sound cue, or will they? BabyBay finds the kill. Does he have time to make this happen? 1v1, toggles it again. Not a lot more time to play, but comes around the corner, finds the kill. Is there enough time, though, for the defuse? Oh, it's going to be close. Can FaZe stay alive on the map? No, BabyBay will dash away.
Why even dash? Why even dash?
Just
defuse. Just try and defuse.
A very close round, very chaotic, very much.
GG FaZe, you're out. You're not out. You're relegated to the lower bracket. 2-1 to Rise. We did not expect that. And let's look at the kills here. BabyBay 13 and 16. Again, Rawkus, 9 assists. His ACS is worse somehow with more kills and more assists. I don't know how. I don't get how that works. He's got less damage per round, I guess. I mean, look at this average damage per round. It's like it's way better for Rise here. Like interesting, their top ACS scorer Neptune actually has a negative KD. Derek is 17 and 10 with less ACS. It's interesting how ACS works, how it's calculated. It's quite a complicated calculation, I think. So there we go. Rise have beaten FaZe Clan, and we'll play version 1 or Cloud9 Blue in the upper semi-final, and then maybe play 100 Thieves. But I think 100 Thieves watching that, they're not too concerned, honestly. They're not worried at all. Maybe they should be worried about Cloud9 Blue, who seem to be on a 5-match win streak, by the way. Maybe more. But Vanity, Zeta, I don't know who that is. Depper, Leaf, Mitch. I know Leaf. I've heard of Leaf and Vanity, you know, well-respected players. Right. Well, I'm going to put this link in chat if anybody wants to keep watching, because I need to go sleep. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I will be back with more watch parties. We'll see which ones we do. I probably won't do them all. What's going on tomorrow? What is the no, it's 27th tomorrow, because we're technically in the 27th. No, it's not. 28th tomorrow. So 28th. So we got Genji versus Luminosity, and then FaZe Clan versus somebody. If this is Cloud9, we definitely watch this. And I think that's all there is tomorrow. 28th. Anything 29th? Like AM 29th? No. So just these 2 games tomorrow. Yeah, I probably won't watch. I probably won't stream Genji Luminosity. If FaZe Clan if Cloud9 Blue do get defeated, I'll watch that. Right. Take care, everybody. Peace out. Link in chat if you want to keep watching, because it's version 1 versus Cloud9 Blue next, and then it's Rise versus version 1 or Cloud9 Blue after that. Take care, folks.